Keys on the track, on the track, on the track, on the track, on the track.
For the stats, I be beating the odds. And the blood, it be making me calm.
Keys on the track, on the track, on the track, on the track, on the track.
For the stats, I be beating the odds. And the blood, it be making me calm. Ride the turbines just like I'm Saddam. I'ma blow it just like I'm a bomb. I'ma leave it.
Peace and love to everybody that's in the building. Make sure y'all hit that like button, come up the video, support the channel. It's about the Original Power. We got another fire show for you guys. But before we get right into it, I need y'all to do me a huge favor, family. I need y'all to thumb up the video and share the live stream, family. That's some of the most important stuff that I can ask the family to do right now. You understand what I'm saying? So salute to everybody that is in the building that's coming here to support everything that we got going on. We're standing on American business, gatekeeping our culture, delineation, and expressing our lineage. Shout out to all my FBAs and all my Aboriginal Indigenous brothers and sisters. I want to encourage you guys to go shop Aboriginal by hitting the link that's in the live chat. That's bapclothing.store. That's bapclothing.store. We're going to play a little intro music, one song, and we'll be right back with the heat. Let's go. Real quick, while the family in here, y'all let me know where y'all at. What city, what state? Let me know.
Rhyme so dope, my eyes low. When you move like God, the time slow. I came back for the blacks and John Doe's. Crack open them land patents, let go of them townhomes. What's a native to a native? Eat $5 dough if he not melanated. Pale faces got you waiting on a savior. Sending prayers up, he texting back on vacation. Yeah, God's children. Give all your praise to Jesus, but how God feeling? He say put no one before him in divine image. It's you with God and Christians. I got a vision, but niggas ain't gotta listen, so they don't. We came from the soil, wasn't fucking with no boats. Bible took our spirit, English potted on our homes. Tribal families turned on us, don't act like y'all don't know. But fuck them and they grudges. We was something turned to nothing. And now we nothing's turned to somethings. Reincarnation of angels, fresh up out the oven. This the message to the black man. 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 Shooters on my roof, lawyers in the coop. We can never die, bitch, we bulletproof. This the message to the black man. This the message to the black man. Say you wasn't slaves, you was prisoners of war. You stop wasting your time, these other bitches ain't important. You ain't meditating, you ain't mating with the sauce. Like what the fuck's a noodle if you ain't painted with the sauce? I find it hard to trust the pastor who rather side with the master, who preaching we should submit while getting murdered and captured. About how we should wait on God, it's never our vernacular. They get paid and praised by the dollar long as they keeping us stagnant. And niggas think they woke, huh? Like you could change a whole world through a vote, huh? Like slave masters willing to let their slave go, huh? That slave master was probably your kinfolk, huh? History in reverse, a black king strategy. When blacks were your majesty, they always hide your pyramids but point to where the castles be. Aristocracies with your last name patented accurately. Yeah. And I ain't even tell half the shit. Like, I ain't even tell a quarter of the shit. I'm just getting started. Y'all niggas rap about busting guns and all this weird shit. I'm trying to get my people back, nigga.
Peace and love to everybody that's in the building. Y'all drop a quick fire emoji if you guys can hear me loud and clear. Peace and blessings. Hopefully everybody's doing fantastic. Like I said, once again, salute to the real ones that's in the building. Y'all come on in here and hit that like button, family. Share the live stream. I can't even stress to the family how important it is to share the live stream. Man, we got a lot to talk about today. over 1 million immigrants are now being forced out of America, family. Over 1 million immigrants being forced out of America. So we want to kind of get right into these clips. Before we even get into the clips, I do got to let y'all know this is serious. There's fraud. There's immigration fraud. There's all types of illegal activities going on amongst these immigrants. And I believe that America is literally laying the foot down. Delineation from our movement, which we have been the grassroots of this whole thing. Shout out to my FBA. Shout out to my Aborigines who's been boots on the ground, delineating and representing on all social media outlets. That's why I individually put together the Tether Task Force. Shout out to everybody in the building. We did put together the Tether Task Force, the online social media Tether Task Force, to make sure we reconcile these immigrants and these tethers causing disruption in our spaces, spreading fake news, narratives, and propaganda. But this whole Somalian scam thing is through the roof, family. Over $10 billion is estimated to have been scammed from Americans through immigrants. And what's crazy is now they're investigating Ilhan Omar and how she only had $65,000, according to the IRS, in her bank account for 4 to 5 years. And then after her last divorce and after her recent new marriage, all of a sudden she's worth over $30 million, which happens to be in the same community from where the $1 billion were scammed from. It makes you go, So let's get into some more of this. If y'all ready to get into this heat, drop a fire emoji, thumb up the video. It's your brother Aboriginal Power. Let's go.
Keys on the track, on the track, on the track, on the track, on the track.
For the stats, I be beating the odds. In the blood, it be making me calm. Ride the turbines just like I'm Saddam. I'ma blow it just like I'm a bomb. I'ma leave it.
So let's get into this next clip we got lined up for y'all. Let's go.
Did that take you right there? I mean, that
Yeah.
explained it all away right there, right, Jess?
Yeah, so the Somalis are the real victims.
Yes.
So her father was a colonel in this Islamist communist Somali regime that the UN accused of committing war crimes and disgusting human atrocities. She leaves Somalia, she comes here, marries her brother,
Right.
commits.
First of all, let's start there. That is illegal, by the way. First of all, you got to ask yourself, why would someone marry their own brother? Well, according to my own research, most foreigners often does this. Now, let's be clear. Somalia has a 77% inter-family marriage, meaning 70% of Somalians either marry a sibling or a first cousin. This is just natural behavior. I don't know why they do it. So they have a 70% of inbred going on amongst their nation and ethnic group. Okay, so why would someone marry their own brother? Well, let me tell y'all why she married her own brother, family. Her brother was not allowed to come over here. He was rejected from the visa. So in order to get her brother to come here in the Somalian community from which they built in Minnesota, she had to marry her brother to legally get him over here. Some 90-day fiance type shit with a twist on it. I'm serious, family. This is all real facts.
Atrocities. She leaves Somalia, she comes here, marries her brother,
Right.
commits immigration fraud, gets elected to Congress, and suddenly is worth $30 million.
Right. She marries her damn brother, which is immigration fraud. You feel what I'm saying? She marries her brother, which is immigration fraud. And then all of a sudden, in the same community in Minnesota, she's a Somalian, in the Somalian community in Minnesota, which happens to be the same community that has been investigated for over $10 billion worth of scam. You ask yourself, where did the 30 million come from that she now has? Where did the 30 million come from that she now has, family? I want you guys to answer that at your own will. You let me know. Family, support the channel. Cash App information is in the chat. I do need the family to share this on all your social media outlets. I do want to say peace and blessings to everybody that's in the building. Before we continue right quick, I do want to stop what I'm doing to shout out the family that stopped what they doing to get into the live chat to shout me out. So it's only right we reciprocate that same love and give it back to you, family. Shout out to Darius McNair, excuse me. Shout out to Roger W., Darvis Baylock, Akila I hope I'm saying your name right, brother. We got Glock Toter in the building. Shout out to Glock Toter. We got Sister Koya in the building. We got Mrs. or Mr. L. Bay. We're talking about coming from Spring Valley, California. Shout out to you in the building. Make sure y'all share the live stream. It's always good to see the Empresses in here. We got my sister in here, the beautiful Empress, copper color goddess in the building. We got Rodney Gilmore in the building with us. Haru the Duke. Shout out to you, brother. We got Juan Torres, my Puerto Rican brothers in the building. Salute to you. Shout out to the 305 War Chief. Shout out to Simply Moray Elements. Shout out to T1 Productions. And also, shout out to Root Words in the building. Shout out to Queen Pen. I'm glad you was able to catch a live too, sis. I'm glad you was able to catch a live. For those that's in the building rocking out with Big Aboriginal Power, I do need y'all to thumb up the video and support the channel right quick. Thumb up the video and support the channel. Let's go.
Somalia, she comes here, marries her brother,
Right.
commits immigration fraud, gets elected to Congress, and suddenly is worth $30 million. So everybody in her little Somali community, all of a sudden, not all of them, but a bunch,
Most of them.
steal $1 billion from American taxpayers. And then they buy nice
They
cars.
stole now let's be clear about this. They stole $1 billion just through Medicaid scams. I just want to reiterate that because sometimes the news get misconfused, but this is why you tapped in the BAP news, the news you can use. You understand me? That's why you tuned in the BAP news, the news you can use. Now, let's be clear about this, family. They scammed over $1 billion just through Medicaid scams. That ain't talking food stamps. That's not talking PPP. That's not talking SBU. That's not talking about other programs that they're scamming. Just Medicaid alone, they have scammed over $1 billion, family. There's only 80,000 Somalians. Trump was right this whole entire time. These immigrants are coming here and they're parasites, economic parasites. They're literally leeching off of our people, family. How do I know that? Because 88% of all Somalians are on welfare. I'm going to say this again, family. I need y'all to thumb up the video, support the channel. We cooking right now. I do need y'all to support the channel. This channel is not monetized, by the way. We do this all off the love. Let me say this again, family. 88% of all Somalians are on welfare. They're stay-at-home immigrant moms. That means they're not contributing. They're not working. They're literally sitting around getting government handout. Now's the time to end all federal and government funding to all immigrants and then properly allocate those funds to Americans. That's as simple as that. Like Rosalind said in the chat, these people are economic pirates. Shout out to my sister, Adreen Sadiq, in the building. It's always a blessing to see you. Truth Be Told is in the building. It's always good to see you in here, sisters. Fellas, I need y'all to stop what y'all doing, family. Fellas, stop what you're doing and show some love to the ladies in the building. They're showing some love to Big Aboriginal Power. They're showing a little love to me, so make sure y'all show a little love to the ladies. We're going to get back into some more of this content because this is a lot to uncover, okay? $1 billion worth of scams just from Medicaid alone. The numbers is going to get into the 5s, the 10s, the billions once we start looking at other programs that the Somalians have their hand in, family. Let's continue.
Community, all of a sudden, not all of them, but a bunch,
Most of them.
steal $1 billion from American taxpayers. And then they buy nice cars and they fund her campaign. And then they get caught. And she says, no one's more upset about the fraud than us Somalis.
Right.
And that we're the real victims. Meanwhile, a lot of these people are on food stamps. They don't have a high school education. They can barely speak English. And all Stephen Miller says is you got to assimilate and you can't be a public charge.
And now, I know it might seem a little racist of what he's saying, but let's be clear, family. We're only dealing with the statistical analytical data. The statistic analytical data is what we're dealing with. And the statistical analytical data states that 72% of all Somalians test scores, academic test scores, is below 71. And according to standardized Western education, anyone who scores below a 71 is considered mentally retarded. I'm saying this in the most respectable way. So we got a bunch of remedial leeching immigrants, and one of them happened to get elected into Congress. Are we failing as a country? Are we failing as a country, family? Anytime you see the guy Rob Knox's in my chat, you guys immediately ban and block him, time him out for 90 days, whatever you got to do. I don't want to see this guy's chat. Okay? When we look up government funding, these guys are getting a blanket ship of funding. I'm talking about billions. As a matter of fact, 39% of all households in America that is receiving funding, government assistance, are immigrants. 59% of all immigrants receive some type of government assistance. You know what I'm saying? They need some type of government assistance, family. Hey, we got over 100 people listening to us right now in the chat. I will be thrilled, and I will be most. Hold on, let me get my brother Ranch so he can make sure he's getting people out of here. My bad, family. We got almost 100 people in here listening. If we can get these likes up to match the views, that'll be fantastic. Now you don't have to hit the like button, family. You don't have to. Let me work for it. But for those that's already in here and know what we do, I do need the family to hit that like button as we get ready to cook. If they was just to shut down government and federal funding to immigrants alone, that's enough just to take care of the immediate debt from the annual gross that we're receiving. That will be able to take care of our annual debt. We can't take care of our debt because we're paying for immigrants to live here for free, might I add. Not only are they living here for free off of us, they're scamming the American people.
The fraud than us Somalis from American taxpayers. And then they buy nice cars and they fund her campaign. And then they get caught. And she says, no one's more upset about the fraud than us Somalis.
Right.
And that we're the real victims. Meanwhile, a lot of these people are on food stamps. They don't have a high school education. They can barely speak English. And
hey, block Rob Knox's. I'm sorry, Mr. troll. I don't know if you know how copyright strikes go, but you can do a simple Google search. I cannot be copyright because I'm literally commenting over the original content. And guess what? You, as a loser whose content it is not, can't put a copyright strike in on me. You loser. So you're going to continue to be blocked.
All Stephen Miller says is you got to assimilate and you can't be a public charge. And she calls him a Nazi and he's Jewish. She can't even get that right.
But they have to, you know? It's the name calling. If you say Nazi, the media focuses on Nazi, not the $1 billion of taxpayer money gone. It's he is
one of the reasons she didn't have to
Thank you.
is because she was given an escape hatch in the interview
A parachute,
by
if you will.
bringing a parachute by saying, I'm going to ask you about fraud in Minnesota in which you took $1 billion from taxpayers. How do you respond? And also let me add Stephen Miller into this so that you can get out of it. And to me, she doesn't seem upset at all.
First of all, her being an elected official, elected into Congress, and literally is on record for committing immigration fraud. Why she's not being charged with this right now? What is taking so long for the investigation to be complete? If this was anybody that's of the Aboriginal or FBA stock that was in Congress doing the fraudulent things that she's had her hands in on or overlooked or did the immigration fraud that she did, these people would be under the jail. Why is the Democrats who allow these people in often prioritizing immigrants over the American people? I want to ask you guys that, family. Why is the Democrats prioritizing these people again? Shout out to everybody in the building, man. We're going to keep rocking this thing out. Let's go.
That Americans were ripped off. They were double tapping COVID funds.
Yeah.
And then the thing is that, like Jason Riley of the Wall Street Journal wrote about this last week. He said, you're not doing the Somali community any favors by just trying to sweep this under the rug. If you want to assimilate, take responsibility for it and figure out how to stop it from happening again. I just want to reiterate, the Attorney General of Minnesota, Keith Ellison, needs to be looked into even more because he was soliciting campaign.
Keith Ellison needs to be looking into it. It's literally up under his jurisdiction. He's able to regulate to make sure that the funding and the taxpayers' money is going to the proper places. I mean, these are support programs. And if the money is not going to support programs like children that's in need and Medicaid, and if it's not going there, whose job is it? It's obviously his job. You see what I'm saying? So shout out to everybody that's in the bill. Let's keep it going.
It from happening again. I just want to reiterate, the Attorney General of Minnesota, Keith Ellison, needs to be looked into even more because he was soliciting campaign contributions from these very people who are stealing the money. And then on tape, it's asked, but what happens if they continue to come after us and investigate us? And he said, if I see it, I'll tell them to knock it off.
Harold, you will probably relate this to this what I'm about to. When we see, in our example, when we see a high-profile brother do something terrible, we are usually the most upset at the individual because you make us all look bad when you do things like this. Here's a situation where she's in leadership. She's probably the most popular, recognizable person representing her cultural group, and there's $1 billion scandal. Shouldn't she be the one leading the charge?
Yes.
Because you're making us all look bad. She listed off all those groups, Irish, this. Guess what? They would police their own. They did police their own. That's why they were assimilated to this country and no longer are called little groups.
Well, obviously, Ilhan Omar is not going to police her own people. She's not going to crack down to get to the bottom of it because her hands is not clean. Her hands is dirty. A congresswoman who was elected by Congress, married and divorced 3 different times with a bank account that never received over 100,000 within the 7 years, all of a sudden is worth over $30 million? You got to be freaking kidding me. Look up her net worth right now. She is worth $30 million in less than a year and a half. Less than a year and a half, less than 2 years. She made $30 million. That's insane. Sounds like a damn scam.
Talking a little bit in break. I think that that making assumptions about, I'd take it a step further. I think your question is right. I agree with you. I share that view, and whenever that is the case, I often feel that way. But at the same time, I also think it's unfair for people to assume because you are of that group that you somehow or another are more prone to do things that person may have done. If this is an instance of that, that's one thing. I didn't like her answer. I didn't think it was necessary to invoke Stephen Miller in the answer. I think the answer stands on its own. If there's nothing there, her point was if this is indeed something, then our law enforcement in America should find this out and get to the bottom of it. And there's insinuation that it's hard to imagine how she couldn't have known about these things. If that's the case, then let the investigation fall where the investigation may fall. But I just wish she hadn't invoked her feelings about Stephen Miller. Indeed, obviously she's shared them, but I don't see the connection between the issue here and Stephen Miller's comments about immigration. He has some strong positions that I disagree with, but it doesn't.
Rob, nobody cares about your weak threats from some guy who lives in a trailer park. You are not strong enough and you are weak. You have no power in YouTube. So you're going to continue to get blocked. And if you're going to strike me or put a copyright or report me, just do it. I don't care that you're telling me you're not even going to get the words off. And you're not even going to be able to affect nothing.
Really have any relationship to the story.
Well, even let's just say for argument's sake, let's say that he is a card-carrying Nazi. What does that have to do with the evidence that's coming forward? So the Nazis are telling on you? I would expect a Nazi to tell on me if I was doing illegal stuff. That would be the one group that I'd be like, who told on me? Nazis makes figures, figures.
Stephen Miller is Jewish, but yet he's a card-carrying Nazi.
Yeah.
That's what she wants us to believe.
Hey, listen.
Look, this is a
the guy Rob Knoxes is a pale-skinned Caucasian guy who lives in a trailer park out of Michigan, and he hates to see our people supporting the movement and delineating. So listen, I'm gonna encourage you guys to hit the like button and support the channel and share the live stream. For everybody that supports, this is going to piss this white tea person off. All right, so make sure y'all support the channel. I will shout you out as it come through, family. Support the channel. Support the channel that supports the movement. For those that's new to the channel, this is your brother Aboriginal Power. Nice to meet y'all. Let's get back into some more of this heat, though.
Proposition to the left, but you are allowed to make an argument against Trump or anyone in his administration without leveling a Nazi, white supremacist Hitler comparison. It's sad that we're at a point where this is common discourse. Every day we cover a Nazi comparison. And during my time at Oxford, I studied debate. I thought about it in detail, like how to make a good argument, how to craft it with footnotes, with facts, with figures. The lowest form of intelligence debate is an ad hominem attack. It's lazy. It has no facts. It's just leveling a criticism. And that's what you saw from Ilhan Omar with the Hitler comparison. It is so dangerous. It is so wrong. And I shared this with Dana this morning, just to share it again. Katie Miller, the day after the Charlie Kirk assassination, Stephen's wife, went outside her home, was accosted by a woman who said, "I'm watching you." There were signs in their neighborhood in Arlington, Virginia, or thereabouts, that said wanted posters, and on them, they crimes against humanity. This, in my opinion, is an organized attack. It is designed to put a target on the back of Trump administration officials. It is so wrong. It's so lazy. It's so unintelligent, and it needs to stop.
But it has been very effective for them over the last 4 years. They've been, all you got to do is call a white guy racist, and then the news media stops on the actual issue, and they go into a deep dive as that person. And that would have been pretty easy to clear up, I think. But who knows with the, what'd you call it? Ad hominems?
Ad hominem attack. It's lazy. It's unintelligent.
Ridiculous ad hominem attack.
Like I said, a lot of these is pretty much ad hominems nonetheless. And like I said, we see that the scamming is going on. So the crackdown on all the scamming is just beautiful to me. I believe it's relevant, and I believe it plays into a lot of crucial things that goes on. I want y'all to listen to this real quick. So like I said, this lady is off the chain. And shout out to everybody that's representing the social media tether task force. We do appreciate y'all. Listen to this real quick, family. Listen to this. Listen to this.
That darn money from. Let's go through it. When she first ran for Congress, I'll ask again, where did Ilhan Omar get all that darn money from? Let's go through it. When she first ran for Congress in 2018, she was married to a Somalian man named Ahmed Nursaid Elmi, and she had a net worth of approximately $65,000. Not a ton of money, but $65,000. By 2020, a whole 2 years later, Ilhan had already divorced and remarried another Somalian man by the name.
So they do a lot of these paternal and marriage frauds as well. So I think this is something else that we need to be looking into. Paternity, and marriage fraud. So she married two different people, still broke. Now, Bob, pay attention. I want y'all to pay attention. I'm going to let this play through without saying a word. Just listen, family. I just need the family to listen right quick. All right? We about to get right into it. I do need everybody to hit that like button, thumb up the video, support the channel. We ain't had one person support yet, but I know we're going to get some real ones to support. Let the real ones support. Let's go.
I'll ask again, where did Ilhan Omar get all that darn money from? Let's go through it. When she first ran for Congress in 2018, she was married to a Somalian man named Ahmed Nursaid Elmi, and she had a net worth of approximately $65,000. Not a ton of money, but $65,000. By 2020, a whole 2 years later, Ilhan had already divorced and remarried another Somalian man by the name of Ahmed Aladizian Herzi, and her net worth was still right around $65,000. Yet just 4 years later, she was divorced and remarried again for a third or perhaps a fourth time. We don't know for sure because Ilhan Omar likely married her brother at one point to get him into this country illegally when she came here.
Married her damn brother to get him in the country illegally. That is immigration fraud at its finest. That is illegal. That is a federal crime. Why is she not being locked up? And she's an elected official. She's in Congress. Where's Ilhan getting all this cash? Where she's getting all this cash.
And for a third, or perhaps Aladizian Herzi, and her net worth was still right around $65,000. Yet just 4 years later, she was divorced and remarried again for a third, or perhaps a fourth time. We don't know for sure because Ilhan Omar likely married her brother at one point to get him into this country illegally when she came here from Somalia, which, by the way, is a federal crime. And she's serving in Congress. And nobody talks about this. So by 2024, Ilhan's married to a new person.
Right. Nobody's talking about it. This is a serious crime. Immigration fraud in the time that we're really locking down on immigration should be at the forefront. As a matter of fact, I'm speaking on behalf of the American people in the grassroots and the social media online Tether Task Force, chief of the Tether Task Force. Right? I think that she needs to be penalized immediately. Immediately. She needs to be in jail. What do you guys think?
Are likely married her brother, or perhaps a fourth time. We don't know for sure because Ilhan Omar likely married her brother at one point to get him into this country illegally when she came here from Somalia, which, by the way, is a federal crime, and she's serving in Congress. And nobody talks about this. So by 2024, Ilhan's married to a new person, a white guy named Tim. There's Tim Minette. And Tim is not a rich man, but now he is. Tim's rich now because somehow over the course of the last 3 years, Ilhan Omar's net worth has skyrocketed to over $30 million and counting, meaning she went from having right around $65,000 to $30 million in 3 years.
So that means she made over $10 million profit 3 years in a row. How, Sway? Because guess what? Guess what, family? The $1 billion Somalian fraud scheme in Minnesota has been going on for 3 years as well. That's $10 million per year that she was putting in her pocket, family. You see what I'm saying? $10 million a year. $10 million a year. If that ain't fraud, matter of fact, can she prove and back and track how she made all this money? The IRS needs to be investigating this lady.
Think about that. Powerball drawing is tonight. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Tim's rich now because somehow over the course of the last 3 years, Ilhan Omar's net worth has skyrocketed to over $30 million and counting, meaning she went from having right around $65,000 to $30 million in 3 years. Think about that. Powerball drawing is tonight. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Ilhan Omar did not win the lottery. Bernie Madoff was cheating, and he still wasn't doing that well. That is a 46,000% increase in less than 3 years. Now,
a 46,000% increase within 3 years. Who the fuck increases their income by 46,000%? Who in the world increases their income by 46,000%? Logically, this is a damn scam.
how do you suppose that happened? Do you really expect us all to believe that she just played the stock market like she's got a great investor and they just got kind of lucky over the course of the Biden presidency? And why are we the only ones asking these questions tonight? So once again, where did Ilhan Omar get all that money? And why is she trying to make Americans feel bad for Somalian criminals?
And there's going to be a lot of immigrant sympathizers coming in here, family. Pay them no mind, family. We're not going to pay the sympathizers no mind, all right? We're just going to do what we do by standing on this business. All immigrants must go. Every dog must have their day. And what I'm saying is all immigrants must go.
The legal status of
350,000. All immigrants must go. Let's get into this next little bit of clips, man. If y'all ready to rock the house out, drop a fire emoji, thumb up the video, and support the channel, family. Support the channel. Support the channel, family. Let's get right into it. Let's go.
Keys on the track, on the track, on the track, on the track, on the track.
For the stats, I be beating the odds. In the blood, it be making me calm. Ride the turbines just like I'm Saddam. I'ma blow it just like I'm a bomb. I'ma leave it.
third deadline to leave the U.S. or be forcibly removed.
So President Trump has ordered the largest immigration crackdown in U.S. history, outright banning new visitors from 19 different countries, while ordering every green card holder and visa recipient from some nations re-vetted. And at the same time, people
Yep. All these green card holders, all immigrants must go. Bandit all immigrants. All of these motherfuckers must go. This our shit. I don't give a damn who you is. If you a damn immigrant and you migrated from here, it's time to go. And listen, let's just say the ones that's here are here. You can stay. But I feel like as an American, no more government funding. They shouldn't get no government assistance, no federal funding, no subsidized housing, nothing. If the immigrants that is here are going to stay, they got to have their funding took away. That's just my opinion about it. Rob want friends, man. Rob ain't gonna get no shine in the chat.
Crackdown and U.S.
Y'all block him as soon as y'all see it.
history, outright banning new visitors from 19 different countries while ordering every green card holder and visa recipient from some nations re-vetted. And at the same time, people in the U.S. legally, because of their temporary protected status, are seeing that too disappear, which means the number of illegal immigrants inside America could soon go way up unless people self-deport.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem acknowledged that Haiti is still a volatile place, but she says extending TPS would be at odds with United States interests.
So we already know what's going down with the whole Haitian situation. So this is going to affect over almost close to a half a million immigrants, Haitian immigrants alone. You know, with the TPS ban being revoked, it's time for them to go too. Haitians, you got to go. You got to go. Sorry, but no sorry. Sorry, but not sorry. If y'all want these immigrants to go, family, shout out to all my FBA and all my Aborigines. If y'all want these immigrants to go, drop a fire emoji in the chat. Shout out to Roger W. Shout out to Reginald Jones in the building for supporting the channel. Shout out to Reginald Jones, man. You just made one hater pissed off just now, just listening. You just made a hater pissed off by supporting. We appreciate the support. Y'all keep it coming in. Let's piss the haters off.
We are devastated, given when you think, first of all, the fact that between 300,000 and 500,000 lives are at stake.
We were expecting this. And so no surprise there, but I was still a little bit shocked. And so many people who've been in the United States since the Haiti earthquake of 2010 have become homeowners, or business owners, have assets.
Problem though is that why would you start doing all that knowing that you want a temporary stay here? Like y'all just be doing shit thinking that it's going to avoid your temporary stay. You knew you was over here temporarily. Why try to build something that's indefinitely in a land that you know that you're going to only be in temporarily? That doesn't even make no damn sense.
Expecting this. And so no surprise there, but I was still a little bit shocked. And so many people who've been in the United States since the Haiti earthquake of 2010 have become homeowners, or business owners, have assets.
Problem though is that we are basically taking people's word for it, that they say who they are, they're from whatever country they're from. When they say they don't have any criminal history, they've never been arrested or something, like we're just be like, hopefully they're telling the truth.
I think it's needed. During the Biden administration, 17, 18 million people came to this country, most of them illegally, without vetting. We got all the gotaways. So I think it's a good time to pause and get caught up.
Yeah, I think it's a good time to pause and get caught back up.
So the Trump,
I think it's very, very valid that we pause all immigration to the country. We pause all funding to immigrants that's already in the country, and we focus on prioritizing America and the American people. And as Americans as Americans, right? Aboriginal, FBA family, we are the real and true Americans, right? We're going to continue to stand on business. We only have one plan, family. Get on code. We only have one movement, family. That's delineation. Everything else, expressing our culture, looking into your lineage and expressing our lineage. You understand what I'm saying? Shout out to the real ones. Shout out to the Americans. Shout out to my FBA and my Aborigines, man. Y'all drop a fire emoji if y'all in the building. If y'all want these immigrants out of here like me, drop a fire emoji in the live chat right now. We got over 137 in here listening to us right now. Let's get a few more people to smack that like button. We are looking a little shiesty with the likes. We are looking a little shiesty with the likes. We are getting a little shiesty with the likes. I just need y'all to support the channel, share the live stream, and thumb up that video. Let's put us in the algorithm by hitting that like button.
Trump administration says Haiti no longer meets the requirements for temporary protected status and a lot of people are soon gonna have to leave. But nobody upset about this wants to acknowledge that the T in TPS stands for temporary. This is not a permanent.
Right. This is exactly what I'm saying. They know this is not a permanent thing.
His predecessor
They
isn't.
know this is not permanent. Hell, they came under her under one condition. Listen, we're gonna let y'all guys over here because you're under a temporary stay. They talking about, well, we built businesses and we bought homes. Why? Why? Why, for crying out loud, would you do some dumbass shit like that, knowing that you're only going to be over here temporarily? Bye, Felicia. We don't want these damn immigrants here. It's becoming an issue. They're economic leeches. Hell, 48% of the Haitian immigrants are on welfare. There's over 1 million Haitian immigrants here. 350 of them are under the TPS. Over 350,000 of them are over here under the TPS Act. You see what I'm saying? That's an issue. That's an issue.
Designed to be, but that's not what activists want. They want this to be permanent, which would essentially mean reopening the U.S. border through a back door. But here's where things get interesting. Protected status for Haitian nationals was supposed to expire back in 2021, a decade after an earthquake devastated their country. But President Biden extended it for his predecessor to deal with. And because his predecessor isn't an open borders socialist, who likely would have extended it yet again,
right, just like the Democrats or the Biden administration. These people literally shut down all border protection and opened our borders up like it was nothing nobody has ever seen before. Totally belligerent shit. And as Americans, we cannot, this is a spit in our face. Allow immigrants over here and then prioritize the immigrants over the Americans is absolutely treason.
Program is going to expire as it was designed to do. But the thing is, since it's Trump who's now in charge, well, he must just be a big jerk. At least that's the story the other team is spinning. Never mind that TPS designations aren't a means to legal immigration at all. Rather, they're a form of humanitarian aid for disaster-hit areas of the globe. For example, Venezuela and Ukraine also have TPS designations. But as with all forms of immigration, the open borders crowd wants everyone who finds themselves within our borders to stay here forever. Which brings us to the real reason there's such a massive fight going on over this. The open borders crowd is going to use the expiration of temporary protected status for Haitian nationals, along with about 19 or 20 other countries, all set to expire over the next few months, as a weapon to try and turn the American people against a president who was elected to close the border. Something that has not been done in a very long time. And the argument is that by ending temporary protections for
you see that? All them immigrants coming
against a president who was elected to close the border. Something that,
by the way, that was the government videotaping that shit. Let's run this shit back. I don't think y'all listening to what's going on. We're going to run this back just a little bit. Shout out to everybody that's in the building, man. Hit that like button if you're new to the channel. This your brother, Original Power. Shout out to everybody that's in the building, man. Y'all know what's going on. Salute to the real ones in the building. I do appreciate everybody for coming through. We do appreciate that. I don't know what's going on. Give me just a second. Give me just a second. And I'm going to be right back. Let me fix this screen real quick. Give me 2 seconds, family. All right, we back. My bad. Let's see if we back up and live in action. Okay. We back in the building. We back in the building. Let's get it right. Salute to everybody that's in here, though. I just want to make sure my shit was running a little laggy. You understand me? So salute to everybody. Channel, like I said, subscribe, hit that like button, thumb up the video, all that good stuff. We got some more to get into. Let's get back into some more of this heat, though. Let's get to some more of this.
For Haitian nationals was supposed to expire back in 2021, a decade after.
So the TPS ban was supposed to end in 2021. They put an act in through Congress to extend it.
The U.S. border through a back door. But here's where things get interesting. Protected status for Haitian nationals was supposed to expire back in 2021, a decade after an earthquake devastated their country. But President Biden extended it for his predecessor to deal with. And because his predecessor isn't an open borders socialist who likely would have extended it yet again, the program is going to expire as it was designed to do. But the thing is, since it's Trump who's now in charge, well, he'd just be a big jerk. At least that's the story the other team is spinning. Never mind that TPS designations aren't a means to legal immigration at all. Rather, they're a form of humanitarian aid for disaster-hit areas of the globe. For example, Venezuela and Ukraine also have TPS designations. But as with all forms of immigration,
guess what? All TPS bans need to be put up. And so guess what? I don't know if y'all know this or not, but Somalians are over here on the TPS ban act as well. So I think that all these TPS acts need to be revoked. That's just as simple as that. I can't put it no simpler than that. It's to protect the American infrastructure and the integrity of the Americas. And us as Americans, Black Americans, Aboriginal, Indigenous Americans, however you want to identify, we got a duty as ourselves. All immigrants must go. All immigrants must go. If you agree with that, drop a fire emoji. I just want to see who all agree.
immigration, the open borders crowd wants everyone who finds themselves within our borders to stay here forever. Which brings us to the real reason there's such a massive fight going on over this. The open borders crowd is going to use the expiration of.
Listen, all that open border shit, that shit was in the Democrats party. That shit fell in line with Donald Trump them. I mean, with Joe Biden them. That's out the window. All that open borders pop, that's you can cancel that. Shout out to Roger W for supporting the channel. We do appreciate the brothers. You just made another hater mad. Every time y'all support, that pisses off a hater and another tether. They don't like to see our people support family. So I appreciate that, Roger W. We do appreciate that. Shout out to my brother Tojo. He said the Delineation Foundation. Absolutely. The Delineation Foundation. You absolutely right about that, brother. We are delineating from all these particular people. Shout out to my brother Tojo for the support. You understand me? Y'all keep them coming in, because every time y'all support, that pisses off a hater. I'm telling y'all might not know it, but it do. That's why they be in the chat spamming me. Talking about, don't go check out your merch. You're a grifter. How am I a grifter? Oh, you're talking about delineation. First of all, my name is Aboriginal Power. For the last 8 years on social media, I've openly been delineating. Have we used the term? No, but the action still implies. So when we went around on all these Pan-African platforms, going around stating that we're not African, we're from America, we ain't rocking with no stinking Africans, we ain't none of them. That's delineation. Delineation comes with a language. It comes with an action. We've been delineating as the Aboriginal Indigenous community from the beginning. And now since our FBA brothers is delineating, it just, now we're all together. Now we just one big, deep, large-ass group. We lit as hell. It's lit. Aboriginals got it lit. FBA is getting it lit. It's lit. It's a house party. What you want us to do? What you want us to do? You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's in the building, though, man. We turning up. We got a lot more to get into. I heard a conversation the other day with this African, and like I said, family, viewer discretion is advised when I play this clip. I'm just got to give it to y'all straight up. This is going to make y'all blood boil. I promise you, this mug going to make your blood boil. Shout out to my brother Craig Lloyd in the building, and shout out to Craig Lloyd for supporting the channel. We do appreciate that. You just made another hater mad, man. Every time y'all support, it makes a hater mad. I know Rob Knox is in that motherfucker kissing his dog right now. You just pissed him off. Shout out to you. Appreciate the support. Shout out to Robert Humphrey as well for supporting the channel. We do appreciate y'all. Shout out to all the family that support it. Y'all are definitely pissing these haters off. They hate to see our people support, family. They hate to see our people support. Every time y'all support, they like, damn, this nigga getting people to support. Fuck him. They want to spam my chat. I done blocked all they troll accounts. No troll's going to be able to come around the righteous, noble people in America. Our people are so noble, so gifted, so revered, so creative. We shouldn't be able to allow you degenerate trolls around us. And that's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. And y'all can't judge me for that. Shout out to my sister Dosanelle for coming off her debut debate on Aboriginal Power Debate League, making it out with a fire win. Looking forward to seeing you in another one right here on Big Aboriginal Power Debate League. Shout out to all my Aboriginal FBA brothers in the building. We do appreciate that. Let's get back into some more of this heat. If y'all ready to rock it out, drop a fire emoji. Let's go.
On the track, on the track, on the track, on the track, on the track.
For the stats, I be beating the odds. Then the blood, it be making me calm. Ride the turbines just like I'm Saddam. I'ma blow it just like I'm a bomb. I'ma leave it.
The expiration of temporary protected status for Haitian nationals, along with about 19 or 20 other countries, all set to expire over the next few months, as a weapon to try and turn the American people against a president who was elected to close the border, something that has not been done in a very long time. And the argument is that by ending temporary protections for countries which experienced disasters decades ago is wrong and cruel and unfair, and that nobody should support a president of a country that took care of folks in a way no other country does. Yeah, that's how this is going to work.
Here are the top 10 countries whose illegal or
Let's just run this back, because I got to break something down. We have been taking care of these countries like we did something bad to them. We've been taking care of these countries like we birthed their countries and left them, and we're the deadbeat dad that finally comes back around to take care of our children. These people are none of our children. Their damn cultures and countries ain't even compatible. For instance, Somali, can you even really call that a damn country? It's just a bunch of motherfuckers walking around for real. They ain't got no government. Just a bunch of people walking around, just murdering and committing crimes. They don't got no damn country. And you done allowed a lady like that over here. She done slipped through the cracks, married her brother to sneak him in to get him over here. You feel me? And then got elected in the Congress because she talk a good game. Got a whole bunch of Somalians surrounded her, and then damn near wiped the whole Medicaid system clean. Scammed them, hit them for $1 billion. And we got these type of people around here. Come on, man. We got to do better than that. As Aboriginal, Indigenous, as FBA, we standing on business. It's a lot of the tethers that openly online going against us. You niggas lazy. We balling. We get money. We came to y'all country and get money. Yeah, by scamming, nigga. Shout out to my brother Tamat for supporting the channel, man. You just made another hater mad. Shout out to my brother Tamat. You just made another hater mad. We appreciate the support. Somebody said this immigrant government been robbing, calling it taxes, and adding more immigrants to take our shit. Absolutely, Country Ray. And I think that now that we're being so vocal and that we're being so stern on what we're saying, the government has no other choice but to listen to the grassroots. J-Rock, that's what I'm saying. These tethered temper tantrums. They whining in the street, they protesting. I'm talking about snot boogers from Haitians and all kind of motherfuckers. They do not want to leave this motherfucker. Y'all got to realize, we telling them to go home. They ready to fight. They acting like we trying to send them on a rocket to Mars or something. They act like we trying to put them on a rocket and shoot them to Mars. No, we just trying to send y'all home. It's that bad. But y'all was just bragging how America ain't shit and how y'all country is better and that y'all was moving back soon anyways. We just sped up the process. We just sped up the process. You know what I'm saying? You got to go.
It's disastrous decade.
Matter of fact, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. And so that's why I think it's a brilliant thing that Donald Trump is locking in with other countries, working out deals to be able to send the TPS ban participants to other countries if they don't want to go back to their own country. Donald Trump is already looking around. He hollering at Venezuela right now. He hollering at Hawaii right now. He hollering at Greenland right now. He just looking for spots to get these motherfuckers up out of here. Y'all want to go home? We're going to find y'all somewhere to go. But y'all got to get the hell up out of here. Think about it. Immigrants have been coming to America leeching off of the American people and hardly even produce to society. They come from these third world countries, bringing a third world mindset around us. Almost every immigrant. But what's worse is the black immigrants, because they bring over such a degenerate culture from their tethered backgrounds, and they try to come over here and they cloak them and they get miscategorized as black. And so when they do some degenerate or some foul ass shit, it get dumped on us to clean up. A Jamaican come over here or Somalian come over here and do some bullshit, and they gonna say a black person did that. Guess who's left to clean up the mess? See, but that's what delineation prevents us from having to do anymore. We don't have to clean up the mess no more because delineation separates us from all these other melanated immigrant tethers. Now they got to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Now they mess can't be dumped in our yard because we ain't even close enough for them to even dump it. They're not even in our mix. See, delineation prevents us from having to do extra cleanup from other people's garbage. And it doesn't benefit us cleaning up nobody else's garbage. There's never been a benefit of it. It's just extra work and energy for nothing. And now that we're applying that extra work and energy that we was once doing to something else, this is going to lead into economic footing. But first, we must remove the economic parasites, which is these damn immigrants, family. We got to remove the economic parasites. I support DEI as well. And I support, you say I support DEI, deport every immigrant. That's damn right, Pop Reeves. I like that right there. I'm still in that Pop Reeves. We are pushing DEI, deport every immigrant. Damn, I like that, Pop Reeves. That's the other movement. We got the Tether Task Force and the DEI. You know what I mean? Deport every immigrant. I like that. God dang, I like that. Make sure y'all hit that like button, support the channel, share the live stream. We got over 150 people listening to us right now. We just now hit the hour marker. I do need y'all to get the likes up, family. We got over 153 people in here. If we can get the likes to match the views, this is going to put us in the algorithm. You know what I mean? This channel ain't been put in the algorithm for some time. I just got a copyright strike released off my channel yesterday, so I can obviously see that they're pushing out my notifications a little more. That's beautiful, but I still need the family to hit that like button and put us in the algorithm. It's good to see y'all in the building. Let's keep it rocking. We got more to cook up to. Let's go.
To go is wrong and cruel and unfair, and that nobody should support a president of a country that took care of folks in a way no other country does. Yeah, that's how this is going to work.
Here are the top 10 countries whose illegal or inadmissible aliens enter the United States under the Biden-Harris administration as a percentage of their home country's population. Number 10, Colombia. Number 7, Venezuela. Number 4, Haiti. 4%. Number 3, Honduras, 5.9%. Most of these migrants crossed the border illegally, claimed asylum, and were released into the United States with a court date many years later. The rest were inadmissible.
Right. That's what was happening under Biden's administration with the open border policies. Illegal immigrants will come over here. They will get stopped at the border. They will get scanned through this system and this app, and then they will be issued a court date and then released in America. No, that ain't how it works when they're illegal. You process them and then you release them in their countries from which they were migrating to or from which they came over from. You don't catch an illegal immigrant, process them, and then release them into the free world. But that's what the hell Biden was doing. This damn fool who allowed over 11 million immigrants to enter in America in one damn year. 1 damn year, 11 million immigrants. 6 million of those were illegal, undocumented immigrants. That is bullshit. Now you see why a lot of the brothers throughout the major cities in America, California, New York, Philadelphia, Houston, Chicago, they were very vocal about immigrants and how they're affecting our community. See, now we understand that delineation kind of helps the cushion from these immigrants coming in. And since we've been delineating family, this is one of the most powerful movements to be a part of. And I shout out to the family for being a part of it. Shout out to my Aboriginal SBA family. We are part of making history right now. And since we've been delineating these damn immigrants and these tethers, it got they little motherfucking shit in a bunch. They on social media going crazy. They on TikTok, Twitter, motherfucking Facebook, Instagram. And guess what? We don't give a damn. We shutting them down with real facts, and we're still going to continue to delineate. Because at the end of the day, a lot of them spreading propaganda, which is why me, Aboriginal Power, the chief of the social media tether task force, is going around putting warrants on all these damn tethers. Factual. 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 You feel me? Let's get back to some more of this heat, man. Y'all ready to rock the house out? Let's get a few more people to support the channel. For every person that support, you piss off a hater. Let's keep making these haters mad, man. Let's get back to
Keys on the track, on the track, on the track, on the track, on the track.
For the stats, I be beating the odds. And the blood, it be making me calm. Ride the turbines just like I'm Saddam. I'ma blow it just like I'm a bomb. I'ma leave it.
Of a country that took care of folks in a way no other country does. Yeah, that's how this is going to work.
Here are the top 10 countries whose illegal or inadmissible aliens enter the United States under the Biden-Harris administration as a percentage of their home country's population. Number 10, Colombia. Number 7, Venezuela. Number 4, Haiti. 4%. Number 3, Honduras, 5.9%. Most of these migrants crossed the border illegally, claimed asylum, and were released into the United States with a court date many years later. The rest were inadmissible aliens flown directly into the interior of the United States or ushered in with the CBP-1 app as part of an unprecedented mass parole program for Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans, also known as the CHNV program.
Right, so these programs, although they may have helped a large number of people, they were incredibly unsustainable and very little vetting was done, if any vetting was done at all. And many national security experts are saying that this has created a potential big problem for America that could unfold in the near future if something isn't done today.
I mean, this is an obvious problem, family. This is an obvious problem. Somebody said, who's those last two countries about? What he hiding? Yeah, he didn't say them last two. I noticed he didn't say that too. Yeah, I'm noticing that. Shout out to Country Ray in the building. We appreciate you supporting the channel. You just pissed off another hater, family. Hey, y'all pissing off haters tonight. Rob, now you probably won't even see Rob tonight. Shout out to Country Ray. We appreciate the support, family. Hey, if you're new to the channel, make sure y'all subscribe, family. I do want to reiterate this too while I got your ears right quick, family. And if I do got your ears, you can let me know by dropping a fire emoji. That means you heard me and that you that you can hear me. You feel me? But while I got your ear, I do need y'all to hit that like button and support the channel, family. I do need y'all to hit that like button and support the channel. Share the live stream. Let's get these likes up. I do appreciate everybody that's in the building. And also, I can't even stress to y'all enough by how important it is to make sure y'all double check your notification bell. Make sure you got your notifications turned on to all, where it says all. Get the little bell, hit all. Turn on all notifications. You feel what I'm saying? What my sister Dream Sadiq said. She said they have been shaking monkey tails, baboon tails at us the whole time. Yes, and it stinks, sis. You hear me, Empress? They've been shaking their little funky asses, and they stink. And we're tired of these immigrants funking up our country and muddying and dirtying up our damn country. If they want to dirty up some shit, go back to where you already made it a filthy mud hole. You're not going to come here and run amok. We run a tight program over here. We run a strict program over here in America. And I feel like, guess what? At the end of the day, stop all immigrants from coming over here. Every immigrant should not be allowed to come over here right now. We need at least a 4 to 3 year, just a clear. We need to clear them up the heads right now. No immigrants. And the ones that are already here that is not under the TPS ban, they should have all funding removed. No government assistance, no nothing. We need to start prioritizing Americans first. Simple as that. Let's go.
And the excuse for how loosely these programs were allegedly run is that disasters don't leave time for proper security measures. And in order to help as many people as possible, we have to somewhat throw caution to the wind and just take people's word for it, even though there have been many instances over the last 4 years of certain individuals concealing their rightful identity to benefit from a protected status that never should have applied to them in the first place.
The Department of Homeland Security put out a federal notice that says Haiti no longer meets the statutory requirements for temporary protected status, and Haitian nationals who have been in the U.S. need to leave. Federal leaders also say, quote, allowing Haitian nationals to remain temporarily in the United States is inconsistent with U.S. national interest.
Okay, it's important to understand the U.S. government. Their stance is that Haiti is no longer the disaster-struck region it was, and that is why it no longer meets the definition of a country where nationals should get protected status in America. And it's also important to remember that the expiration date for temporary protected status has not only been pushed back several times, but isn't arbitrarily happening in early February. This is something people have known about for a very long time. It's just that it's happening now and it's not being extended, which is why there's a new fight brewing over it. And look at this. Temporary protected status is due to conditions in a country that temporarily prevent its nationals from returning safely. It says right here, armed conflict, environmental disaster like an earthquake, or some other extraordinary and temporary condition. So if a country has a permanent problem, temporary protected status is off the table.
And so many people, so many folks with TPS who've been in the United States since the Haiti earthquake of 2010 have become homeowners, business owners, have assets. And so we've been telling them too that they needed to make sure to take care of those.
Right. So, okay. That was over 15 years ago, this earthquake. And again, temporary protected status for Haiti.
Yeah, if you're not coming here to work and at least build, help contribute to the building of this nation, you need to get the fuck on. Oh, excuse my French. What time is it? Oh, I can't cuss yet. It ain't even after 8 o'clock yet. We can cuss when they're after 8 around here. My bad. I apologize. I did not mean to curse. Hell, damn. I got to watch my language, family. Because I know I got a lot of the youth listening in, a lot of my elders. I'm sorry, aunties. I'm sorry, I apologize. But these people got to get the hell out of here. Seriously. And that's why I say delineation is a must. That's one of the most impactful, powerful, historical things that we're doing right now as Aboriginal / FBA brothers and sisters in America. If y'all with the movement, y'all standing on business, drop a fire emoji, man. Y'all know it's all love. It's your brother Aboriginal Power, man. Let's keep it going.
Nationals, it has been extended numerous times. And that's because the people who extended it didn't want to deal with the potential backlash for letting it expire. So we ended up having a 15-year immigration program that was temporary. And what are people supposed to do? You can't blame people who are from Haiti for doing their best to succeed in America during this program. But
facts. Let me run it back. And listen, family, listen. I know I've cursed a lot in my past, but listen, I've got a lot, like I told y'all a few days ago, I got a lot of DMs. I got a lot of text messages. I got a lot of emails from elders and the youth. They don't like me cussing. They don't want to hear that stuff. So I'm clearing it. We're cleaning up the channel. I'm going to try not to cuss as much. And I said, and I told her, I said, I'm going to cuss a little bit because it's just in my vernacular. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm not going to cuss as much. I am going to limit it. And I am going to be really, really mindful of the words that I decide to use, because we do have, like I said, elders. I don't cuss like this in front of elders in real life. So why would I cuss in front of them online? Because I'm the same nigga in real life that I am on the internet. Y'all know my slogan. All right. So I'm not going to cuss in front of the family. And so we're and as much as possible. God dang it. You see what I'm saying? But shit, at the end of the day, you know, I gotta respect the elders and I gotta respect the youth. You feel what I'm saying? That just is what it is. So shout out to everybody that's in the building, though. We do appreciate y'all. Turn on one time. We do appreciate y'all. And all the haters in the building. Let's get back to this information.
People who extended it didn't want to deal with the potential backlash for letting it expire. So we ended up having a 15-year immigration program that was temporary. And what are people supposed to do? You can't blame people who are from Haiti for doing their best to succeed in America during this program, but you can blame the politicians for constantly extending it. That's what allowed people to come here and have their lives disrupted. And now the American people are once again having.
That is also another fair point. To the Haitians, this is to the Haitians. It ain't kind of all the way the Haitians' fat point that they built jobs and got their own businesses and bought homes. Our government literally kept extending it. You feel what I'm saying? The TPS ban for Haitians been in effect since 2005. That's almost 30 years. Hell, they done grew up and had kids that grew up. You see what I'm saying? And so we got to realize that a lot of this is on our own doing. Mostly the Democrat, not us, family, not the Aboriginal Indigenous FBI, not us, but, you know, from the Democrat. You see what I'm saying? And I think if we would have been a little more mindful of loving our people, a little more prioritizing Americans first, you understand what I'm saying? We wouldn't be dealing with this. You understand what I'm saying? We got to start prioritizing Americans first, family. We got to. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. Let's get a few people to support the channel. Cash App information is in the chat. You're not obligated, but we do appreciate it. All right, let's get back to some more of this content, though.
Their empathy weaponized against them in an attempt to reopen the border through some sort of backdoor migration program. totally disregards the most effective way to help people in need. It would be far less disruptive to people's lives if the United States enforced its own laws, and if we had leaders who had the courage to do the right thing while at the exact same time helping individuals rebuild their home country. Something that has happened in Haiti to the tune of $13 billion, which for some reason nobody seems to be able to keep track of. And it's not just Haiti that is going to soon have its temporary protected status expire. This affects a whole host of different countries.
Plans are in the works to end deportation protection.
Right. So it's not just Haiti's family. I know y'all the main ones that's been vocal talking about y'all not leaving, but you're gonna leave. Trust me, you're gonna leave. You're gonna leave. But it ain't just Haiti that's under this TPS ban. Let's see some of the other countries that follow up under this. Y'all drop some fire emojis in the chat. Let's go.
Its status expire. This affects a whole host of different countries.
Plans are in the works to end deportation protection for two major immigrant groups in Minnesota. Hundreds may soon have to return to Somalia and Myanmar.
I think everybody's still shocked.
Christopher Tunbao is the owner and chef at Mandalay Kitchen in St. Paul. As a small boy, Christopher was forced to flee his homeland. He lived in a Thai refugee camp as a small
immigrant.
Oh, damn. Even the Chinese about to get put up out this. Even the Chinese about to get put up out this. What are we going to do? Even the Chinese is getting put up out of here. That's insane to me. The Chinese? Let's see who else is involved.
Groups in Minnesota. Hundreds may soon have to return to Somalia and Myanmar.
I think everybody's still shocked.
Christopher Tunbao is the owner and chef at Mandalay Kitchen in St. Paul. As a small boy, Christopher was forced to flee his homeland. He lived in a Thai refugee camp before coming to St. Paul 25 years ago. Christopher is one of roughly 20,000 Karen people living in Minnesota. On Monday, the Department of Homeland Security announced people with temporary protected status from Christopher's homeland would have to return.
Man, we don't give a damn. At the end of the day, it's hashtag DEI with us. It's hashtag DEI with us. For those that don't know what that means deport every immigrant. Deport every immigrant. That's just how that works. We DEI.
So right here, this is why temporary protected status is such a hot button issue. You have a country that has been involved in a terrible conflict. That conflict springs up out of nowhere. And what happens? A generous nation like the United States steps in and says, you know what? We're going to get people out of that country and give them a place to stay where they will be protected and fed and taken care of and where they can have jobs and provide for themselves. And then when things cool off, when this temporary condition subsides, then those folks will be given the chance. We will help them go back to their home country. But you know what? If we're going to have programs like this, we've got to do the right thing, not just when the program starts, but also when it temporarily ends. If we're not going to do that, we've got a system here that operates at the expense of Americans and legal residents who've immigrated to this country the right way. And what this means is that there's always going to be an excuse to never end temporary protected status. The empathy of Americans will always be used against them whenever one of these programs has to expire. And then at the other end of this whole spectrum,
now look, this is crazy. I kind of want to get into the next clip because this is a lot. I got a lot to cover tonight. Hopefully, I ain't got nowhere to go tonight. Okay. Hopefully, the family ain't got nowhere to go tonight. Because I got a lot more to get into, and I want to get into some more. I want to get into this next clip because we pretty much know what's going on with the TPS shit. We see what's going on. It's about to get bad. It's about to get real bad. You see what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's in the building, man. If y'all want to go ahead and rock the house out with me, hit that like button, thumb up the video, support the channel. Man, let's get back into it, man.
Keys on the track, on the track, on the track, on the track, on the track.
For the stats, I be beating the odds. In the blood, it be making me calm. Ride the turbines just like I'm Saddam. I'ma blow it just like I'm a bomb. I'ma leave it.
Or they conduct some of these operations here in the city.
We should point out that Ilhan Omar has not.
I don't know if y'all know, Trump done sent in He calling it the fraud police. He done sent the whole group of police out to Minnesota. He not bullshitting with these Somalians, man. He got a real beef with Somalians right now.
Directly linked to any of this, but a lot of questions being raised about how much she might have known or suspected what was going on.
Where
This
did
is
Ilhan
wild.
Omar get all
Apparently
that
she's
darn
become
money
very
from?
wealthy.
Let's go through it. When she first ran for Congress in 2018, she was married to a Somalian man named Ahmed Nursaid Elmi, and she had a net worth of approximately $65,000.
Okay.
Not a ton of money, but $65,000. By 2020, a whole 2 years later,
And that's
Ilhan had
2018.
already divorced and remarried another Somalian man by the name of Ahmed Aladizian Herzi, and her net worth was still right around $65,000. Yet just 4 years later, she was divorced and remarried again for a third or perhaps a fourth time. We don't know for sure because Ilhan Omar likely married her brother at one point to get him into this country illegally when she came here from Somalia, which, by the way, is a federal crime. And
Yes,
she's serving
it
in
is.
Congress. And nobody talks about this.
Well, they're
so by
starting to.
2024, Ilhan's married to a new person, a white guy named Tim. There's Tim. Tim
Who's
Minette.
Tim?
And Tim is not a rich man, but now he is. Tim's rich now because somehow
Interesting.
over the course of the last 3 years, Ilhan Omar's net worth has skyrocketed to over $30 million. And
Yeah, that's what we brought that up earlier. Bad Humphrey, 670. Not only did she marry her brother, she married her brother so he can come to this country legally. But what she did is called immigration fraud. That's a damn felony. How did she even in office as an elected official in Congress? This little bitch is diabolical, man. First, you did some immigration fraud to marry your brother. Then you done linked in with the rest of the Somalians and fed your pockets to about 30 million. You made $10 million profit over the last 3 years. Doing what, Sway? How, Sway? How? Put a nigga up on game.
counting.
Wow.
Meaning she went from having right around $65,000 to $30 million.
What stocks are they
in 3
picking?
years? Think
Tell
about
me that.
Powerball
Tell me how to
drawing
do that.
is tonight. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Ilhan Omar did not win the lottery. Bernie Madoff was cheating, and he still wasn't doing that well.
This is
That
crazy.
is a 46,000% increase in less than 3 years.
She'll
Now,
probably say
how do
that's
you
the
suppose
American.
Well, that's the American way.
Dream.
And why are we the only ones asking these questions tonight?
I don't think they're the only ones asking questions tonight. My answer to Somalians was that the U.S. government will only do what Somalians in the U.S. tell them to do. They will do what we want and nothing else. They must follow our orders, and that is how we will safeguard our interest of Somalia. What? We Somalians must have that confidence in ourselves.
My bad, y'all. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry, family. I did not mean to cuss. Ooh, my bad. Big Chief, I did not mean to say that. This little heifer is diabolical. Oh, this little wench. This little tethered Somalian wench. She is diabolical, fam. I'm telling y'all.
We live in the U.S., pay taxes, and have a real voice. Okay, this is what has a lot of people very upset about Ilhan Omar. Perhaps this is just the kind of speech that you give when you want to get money, but she's already got a lot of money, and now the other frauds that she's alleged to have engaged in are now moving up the food chain. Look at this.
No, I had it right the first time. You right, you right, David, but I'm trying to watch my curse words. But I felt like that little bitch is diabolical. You come on, Uncle Auntie. I'm good with that one, right? That's my last one. Because I think y'all even said it behind the scene. I think I heard one of the old heads say that word in my mind. You understand what I'm saying? I can read y'all mind. Y'all said it too.
Trump mentioning the Daily Mail reporting from 2020 that Ilhan Omar married her brother to get into the country.
What's the borders are going to say about this?
Look at their nation. Look how bad their nation is. It's not even a nation. They've taken billions and billions of dollars. They have a representative, Ilhan Omar, who they say married her brother
What's the border czar going to say?
You know, I just got advised by a fraud investigator the other day on that.
Look, that's my boy right here. His ass be on. Listen, he be on immigrants' ass, man. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm glad Trump brought him back in as the Secretary of Defense and Border Patrol and Immigration Control. He one of the ones, man. He one of the ones. He was the one that was in during the first Trump administration and had the border secured. I'm talking about locked down. You feel me? Somebody say he too pink to be my boy. He just a little excited. Time out. He reddish. Now, he's a white T-man. Let's say that. Somebody said Tether Task Force affiliate. Yeah, man. Shout out to all my Tether Task Force people. Got another mission accepted, man. We getting rid of all tethers around this mug. All right. Shout out to all my family that's standing on the business. You understand what I'm saying? Let's keep it going.
I asked the question.
Really?
Who reviewed the file and says there was immigration fraud involved.
Huh.
The statute of limitations became an issue in the last 4 years when this was first brought up. Who was president? Who run DOJ? So pulling the records now, pulling the files, and we're looking at, but this fraud investigator, who I know personally, one of the best fraud investigators in HSI, Homeland Security Investigations, said there's no doubt he reviewed the file. So I'm running that down this week, matter of fact, and we'll see.
Wow.
It's
something could happen.
Tremendous that, I mean, and according.
Man, they jump. No, that's illegal though. Hey, country right, that's illegal. You can't marry your brother to get him into the country legal. That's called fraud. That's actually immigration fraud. That's a real charge. That ain't no loophole. I don't even know how she even got elected. She should be on trial right now.
According to the Secretary, Kristi Noem of DHS, she said nearly 50% of the visas are fraudulent in this
insane.
community. I mean, that would mean
out of 100% of the immigrants that's here on visas, 50% of the visas are illegally in fraud. Get the out of here. That is insane. That is insane. 100% of the immigrants that's here, 50% of them that's here on visas are here on fraudulent fake visas. That is insane. Did y'all hear that, family? Drop a fire emoji. Let's run that back.
The visas are fraudulent.
Wow.
It's
something could happen.
Tremendous that, I mean, and according to the Secretary, Kristi Noem of DHS, she said nearly 50% of the visas are fraudulent in this
insane.
community. I mean, that would mean that half the Somali refugees are here in some way illegally.
That's a fact. I mean, they did it through some type of loophole, like my brother J-Rock said. That's why they created the phenomenal hit show called 90 Day Fiancé. 90 Day Fiancé is pretty much showing the process of how these people fraudulently come over here from these immigrated third world tether countries. Hell, the whole show give you the rundown.
Tremendous that, I mean, and according to the Secretary, Kristi Noem of DHS, she said nearly 50% of the visas are fraudulent in this
insane.
community. I mean, that would mean that half the Somali refugees are here in some way illegally. What's going to happen? Is something's actually going to happen? Are there going to be people?
If 50% of them illegally, that means down there 1 out of every 2 people that you find is on one of those. So yeah, I feel like all Somalians should be stopped on the spot, search and check for papers, just like in Nazi Germany. Sorry, but true, man. We got to stop and see if you got the correct paperwork, man. I'm just keeping it real. I know it sounds crazy.
People stripped of their visas, deported. Are we going to see that?
Half. I mean, we're talking 45,000 people. Meanwhile, the amount of financial fraud in Minnesota that may have enriched certain people keeps growing. Look at this.
Fry, Omar, Ellison. How deep does this go into politics?
Yes. Let's get these answers.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, there is an overlap with plenty of Democrats in power in Minnesota with all of this. It was the spring of 2021 when the raids involved with the $250 million fraud scheme tied to feeding
And
our
that was
future
under
first
Biden.
exposed. Even before that, though, you're right. There was a suspected $100 million fraud tied to overbilling at dozens of Somali-owned daycare sites in Minnesota.
Daycare
that was
sites.
making news back then. So the question of who knew what and
It's
when,
been going on the whole
you laid it
time.
out. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, she held several events at the restaurant named in the Feeding Our Future fraud, including hosting her congressional win in 2018 at that very
At a
restaurant.
scammer's
So
restaurant.
She knew one of the
She even did a rally for the damn Feed the Children's program, which that program is the main program that had a lot of fraud, scamming attached to it. And not only did she did a rally for it, she did a rally at a restaurant who was owned by one of the damn scammers. Come on, man. You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up, family. She was rallying for the program, which got scammed by Somalians, did the damn promotion at the damn restaurant that was owned by one of the damn scammers. Come on, man. She's got to be a part of. Like, I'm not the smartest muck in the world, but Smokey, it looked like you're back there taking the You see what she did it, man. She involved, man.
owners very well. Salim Saeed is his name, who has since been
Involved.
convicted. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry, senior.
Shout out to everybody that's in the building too, man. Hit that like button, thumb up the video. Let's get these likes up, family. Really, let's get these likes up. Let's get the likes matching the views. Let's go.
There was a suspected $100 million fraud tied to overbilling at dozens of Somali-owned daycare sites in Minnesota.
Daycare
that was
sites.
making news back then. So the question of who knew what and
It's
when,
been going on the whole
you laid
time.
out, Congresswoman Omar, she held several events at the restaurant named in the Feeding Our Future fraud, including hosting her congressional win in 2018 at that very
At a
restaurant.
scammer's
So
restaurant.
She knew one of the
You can't make this up. This little bitch is diabolical. I gotta say it one more time, elders. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm only gonna say it when it comes to this. This little wench is diabolical, yo. This is insane. This next clip I'm about to get into after we get done with this, which we got a lot more to get into with this. This next one gonna have y'all hot, y'all. I'm telling y'all. Gonna get y'all some Kool-Aid, get you a little Black and Mild cigarette, a little joint, get you some ice cream. This one gonna have y'all hot. Trust me.
owners very well. Salim Saeed is his name, who has since been convicted. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry, senior policy aide Abdi Nur Salah, also entered a guilty plea. He was tied to the case. Campaign donations from some of the defendants in Feeding Our Future eventually returned, as you mentioned, to Jacob Fry, Attorney General Keith Ellison, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. But you're right. I sat down with the lead prosecutor
Everyone's
in the case,
involved.
Assistant U.S. Attorney
The
Joe
mayor.
Thompson. Talked to him months ago. And I asked him, will we see any of these political leaders indicted?
They're all running the place.
At the time, he said he could not comment on future indictments.
He said, "Will they asked him, will he see any political figures being indicted?" Pretty much like Ilhan Omar. And guess what? Good answer. I can't tell you whether or not they are or not. That's a good answer. Why would you say that, yeah, we're going to indict this little wench so she can run back to Somalia with $30 million? No, keep it on the hush. Keep it in a sealed file, make it a sealed indictment, and then hit her monkey ass. And take that hijab wrap off her head so we can see that receding hairline. We want to see the mug shots with that receding hairline. I'm going to be the first one with the mug shots online. I guarantee it. Mark my words. Y'all know I'm the hood journalist. I do this. I will have the mug shots of her receding hairline.
Attorney Joe
mayor?
Thompson. Talked to him months ago, and I asked him, will we see any of these political leaders indicted?
They're all running the place.
At the time, he said he could not comment on future indictments, but even back then, the feds made it very clear that it seemed that these cases were still wide open. Now we're hearing about multiple social programs in Minnesota. And these investigations seem to be wide open at this case. And I think this federal spotlight certainly is helping at this moment, Will.
These people are panicking. They are coming out hard, talking about how Trump is singling people out for no reason. First, we heard that there was no fraud here. But now that ICE is there and the federal government is there and they're looking at the financials and they're looking at all the different types of fraud, from immigration fraud to financial welfare fraud, it looks like there is just criminality everywhere. And what's even crazier is this type of fraud is now spreading to other states in the country. Watch.
A whistleblower is now accusing.
Yeah, like I think in Massachusetts or Maine, a Somalian, a government elected official, got caught stealing guns and other stuff. Man, I'm gonna have to play that clip. I don't know if he's gonna talk about this because I don't know what he's about to show.
Contractor in Maine.
Maine.
Yep. It's the same one I seen earlier. He owned it like me. He's a journalist just like me. I played the clip yesterday showing you the guy from Maine who was a government official, also a Somalian, who was stealing illegal goods.
The country, watch.
A whistleblower is now accusing contractor in Maine
of
defrauding taxpayers out of millions of dollars over the course of 7 years. It's a story you'll see first here on The Hill and exclusively on News Nation.
Wow.
And it centers on Maine's Medicaid program.
Same
the business
thing.
at the center of the allegations, founded by a Somali American, drawing comparisons.
This is a whole nother scam. They're also in Maine doing another Medicaid scam, just like in Minnesota. And guess who's behind the Medicaid scam in Maine? A Somalian. This is an international scheme and scam. This is something they have probably been planning together since they left Somalia.
Nation.
Wow.
And it centers on Maine's Medicaid program.
Same
the business
thing.
at the center of the allegations, founded by a Somali American, drawing comparisons perhaps to the scandal that has rocked the state of Minnesota. Our Rich McHugh joins us live tonight from Lewiston, Maine, with his exclusive reporting. Hello, Rich.
Another state, from
Hi,
Minneapolis
Blake.
to
Yeah,
Maine.
we're here in Maine, but this story is eerily reminiscent of the scandal that's evolving.
And this ain't no scheme. This ain't no whistleblower. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I just peeped what just went down. I'm gonna give y'all the breakdown right now. One of them guys from Minnesota that is an elected official went to them because they already been caught. It just haven't been publicized. What he did is turn to an informant and promising to take down other officials in other states. I guarantee they have already apprehended someone that is in a government position, an elected official, to snitch and turn state or fed in this case on other people that is scamming in the Medicaid program. This is why they even know about the guy in Maine. They're going to probably pop up with other people in other states. This is coming from a direct person who's cooperating with the feds. I guarantee it. Mark my words.
State of Minnesota. Our Rich McHugh joins us live tonight from
Interesting.
Lewiston, Maine, with his exclusive reporting. Hello, Rich.
Another state, from
Hi,
Minneapolis
Blake.
to
Yeah,
Maine.
we're here in Maine, but this story is eerily reminiscent of the scandal that's evolving in Minnesota. We spoke with a whistleblower who alleges that millions have been bilked from the state here, from taxpayers
Wow.
and the Medicaid system, and that a Somali American-led health services contractor is at the center of it all.
This is so crazy. You've got another welfare system which is set up and is just giving money to everyone who asks. And we're probably going to learn that they're not checking anything. There's zero vetting going on here. And this system was ripe to be plundered as soon as criminals figured out it was open for business.
I thought that we were doing the right thing this whole time. And the more I started digging, the more I started finding. And I just couldn't believe what I was seeing, that this was happening and that I was part of this.
Chris Bernardini spent 7 years working for Gateway Community Services, a Somali American-led health services contractor in Maine. Bernardini alleges Gateway oversaw a system in which false records were filed about client visits.
Same thing
He
in
says
Minnesota.
They charged taxpayers for providing services that were never performed.
Right,
We
same
started getting
scheme.
some clients saying that, calling and saying, months later that their client owed them hours. They hadn't come in for these shifts and stuff. But I had a time card for it.
And then they were billing for it.
They were billing for it.
In March of 2022, Gateway received a notice of violation from the state's Main Care Services Program Integrity Unit based on an audit of records taken at random from January 2017 through December of 2018.
Wow.
Gateway overbilled by an
2017.
estimated $904,000.
It's like so obvious that these types of schemes are widespread throughout our country because Medicaid is administered by the states. And if you have states that don't check, you have states that set up programs, they got people overseeing.
Right. You got to look at who's in them areas, in them particular states, who's in the elected positions that's overseeing this. And it's all going to always be the people that's connected to the scamming, always going to have an ethnic relationship to the people in the political field most of the time, because this is a prioritizing their people with this scam. And they also overlooking it. They turning their head when it's happening. This is all part of their scheme. I'm telling y'all. Shout out to everybody in the building. Let's get a few more people to support the channel, man. If y'all really enjoying the live stream and if you enjoying the channel, man. This channel is not monetized, so we do appreciate the donations. You're not obligated, but we do appreciate. Also, family, if we can get y'all to share the live stream on at least one of your social media outlets, we can get 200 people in this live stream before it hit the 2-hour marker. We got a lot to get into, though.
Those programs we're just willing to dole out money to whoever asks. This kind of thing is going to keep happening. First, it was Minnesota. Now it's Minnesota and Maine. We're going to find this probably in many different parts of the country, and it's going to shock people.
Professional opinion, what you saw was fraud.
Absolute.
Wow.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
But Bernardini says when the pandemic hit, it got worse.
I started seeing bonuses, $2,000 bonuses going to these staff that had only been with us for 2 weeks.
Weird.
Never worked a shift with a client. And yet the PPP loan comes to get it. You're giving $2,000 away like they're lollipops at a doctor's office.
In April of 2024, Bernardini wrote to the Department of Homeland Security seeking whistleblower protection. They referred him back to the state. Nearly a year later, Gateway fired Bernardini. The company's founder and CEO is Abdullahi Ali, a Somali American who, while at the time serving as executive director for Gateway, last year ran for president of Jubaland, a state in Somalia's south that borders Kenya.
What? So this individual ran for elected office in another country while running a business in the United States that allegedly profited fraudulently off U.S. government money. You can't make this stuff up.
This week he posted on X, I make no apologies for building a successful business in Maine, working hard to earn a living, earning my PhD, giving back to my Maine community, and running for office in Jubaland. I am proud to contribute my hard-earned dollars to support my people back home. We reached out to Ali for comment multiple times. We even came to Gateway to try and speak with him.
That's the office.
I'm with News Nation. My name is...
Oh, she's closing on him.
No comment? Is Mr. Ali here? Can we speak with Mr. Ali?
Republican State Senator Matt Harrington has called on Governor Janet Mills to investigate.
It's just an absolute insult to the Maine taxpayer.
Right.
That we know that there's this Medicaid fraud going on by Gateway Community Services. We're seeing nothing from the Mills administration on this, and I think it's appalling.
I still can't believe it. I still can't believe
I can believe it. We've just heard about how these places have zero checks and balances and how they'll give money to just about anybody. This is what happens when you have government officials who are in charge of spending your money.
Right, and we know what's going down. So it's just a matter of time before they really just crack down over there and start really getting these people literally out the way. Literally out the way. You see what I'm saying? I think it's just a misguidance or even allowing a foreigner in an elected official position. Why we even got foreigners and immigrants in these political positions? Honestly, because every time it's always some type of little fraud. Every time it's something connected to it. You see what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, we got to learn how to really get through that whole bullshit. We got to lock down. And first of all, why are y'all prioritizing these immigrants over us anyways? So I want to get into this little clip right here. I got some more heat to get into. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. We're going to thumb up the video. We're going to get into some more heat. This next clip, man, I'm telling y'all, this one might have y'all hot. I was listening to this African. He was having a conversation with some Black Americans on this respectable platform. I don't agree with necessarily the Black Americans, but the African, his arrogancy, and he's some type of award-winning, self-proclaimed award-winning guy. He came out of nowhere. I've never heard of this guy, by the way. Philosopher, historian, and all this shit. I've never even heard of this guy, but he's totally misunderstood who we are as Americans. He totally don't understand our culture. He don't even understand how his people is even flying here. So we're going to be pointing out a few hypocrisies within this whole conversation, and I want to get to it right now. For those that's in the building, hit that like button, thumb up the video. Let's go.
For the stats, I be beating the odds. In the blood, it be making me calm. Right the turbines, just like I'm Saddam. I'ma blow it just like I'm a bomb.
And you've done all
because
these
even with white supremacy, we still accomplish more than anybody in the diaspora.
I understand. Then where's the problem we are here talking about? That is something that is just human. When you find yourself in a certain situation, you cannot explain it. Better create a boogeyman fast. But a boogeyman only.
So look, I'm gonna just skip it up and get straight into it. Let's get into the conversation. Let's go.
Asia, Europe, Africa. And so and now, of course, I live in the United States of America. So I have a link. It seems to be the only bridge who can compare what I know from where I came from and then seeing people that were taken from that place now. So I can look at the two and be able to spell out the similarities and what the root cause of some of the problems are.
The first topic I want to get into is, how do you define culture? And under your definition, do Black Americans have a unique culture? Let me start here with Frank.
Well, I'm glad you used the word unique culture. So yes, I'm sure you all saw the episode, that got everybody on my case, except this gentleman who was the only one brave enough to say, well, look, before I cut him into pieces, let me give him a chance to come into the studio and explain, to the audience.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. People say, oh, you're from Benin. And I'll say, yes. And I say, what's Benin culture like? And then I freeze. Because there's nothing like a Benin culture. Or if you're from Ghana, or if you're from Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Liberia, there is no such thing.
No, see, there is a such thing as, see, this is the thing. He's right. You don't have no culture. Even from a place where y'all are cultural people, where y'all have a particular understanding, perspective of philosophies and a way of life, you don't even know what it is because you guys lack culture. Y'all literally lack culture. You know how these immigrants come over here and be like, hey, you guys don't have no culture. Black Americans don't have no culture. You see what I'm saying? No, he's literally admitting to the fact that he has no culture at all. And I need our people to understand this. Hey, Smoke Signal, you in the building? Share this live stream for me. Shout out to the homie Smoke Signal in the building, man. If y'all not subscribed to his channel, make sure y'all go subscribe. Make sure y'all go subscribe to my brother's channel, man. But listen to him right quick.
Have to say, well, look, before I cut him into pieces, let me give him a chance to come into the studio and explain, to the audience.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. People say, oh, you're from Benin. And I'll say, yes. And I say, what's Benin culture like? And then I freeze. Because there's nothing like a Benin culture. Or if you're from Ghana, or if you're from...
No, it ain't about nothing being like it. No, you just don't have no Benin culture. Talk about there's nothing like Benin culture. There's nothing like American culture, but yet we got culture. You get my drift? He's not making any sense. This is an evasive answer. I think this dude is an agent. And when I'm going to get to the reason why I think that in just a second, I believe this guy is an agent. I don't like to throw that term out a lot, family. I've been on YouTube for a long time. I've been on YouTube for probably about 7-8 years. I don't call people agents. That ain't a term I use. I believe this guy is an agent. Honestly, family, I really do. I'm going to explain why in a second.
Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Liberia. There is no such thing. But if you say, oh, you are Yoruba, he said, yes. What is Yoruba culture like? Then he or she is able to start to talk about it. So there are similarities which I'm going to really explain, and you can see it. So I'm first going to ask. He's been on my show. He's seen my. I do not put together that show, which I fund from my own pocket because I just want to say things to make people angry. No, it's because I really care. And sometimes I get frustrated about what I have seen from the continent where I come from and what I see here about my great-great-great-grandfathers, uncles, sisters who were taken away. So
no. Now they got knowledge of your great-grandfathers and your ancestors took it away. First of all, that's bullshit because we're not Africans. And how could your great-great-grandmother and your granddaddy be taken away, but you born in Africa? If your great-grandparents got took away, you will be born in America like us. You just told a lie in front of all these people. That is bullshit.
About what I have seen from the continent where I come from and what I see here about my great-great-great-grandfathers, uncles, sisters who were taken away. So African Americans would say, well, you're not one uncle. Yes, I know, but I'm walking past my cousin, my nieces every day. So what is in my head is what is in their head.
No, we're not the same. So what the way we think ain't the way you think. We're not your brother. We're not cousins. We're not none of that. You see how they try to Africanize us when they want to have one up on us? See, this is the name of the game. This is why we've been delineating. They want to have the one up on us. Oh, no, see, look, y'all are little lost cousins. They got took over here. See, we share a grandmama and shit. See, this is the bull crap, family.
About my great-great-great-grandfathers, uncles, sisters who were taken away. So African Americans would say, well, you're not one uncle. Yes, I know, but I'm walking past my cousin, my nieces every day. So what is in my head is what is in their head. And what I'm explaining is something that they must listen to when I say there is no such thing as African American culture. They're like, what do you mean? Well, culture for me is not dance, food, clothing. Those are not cultures. Culture is a worldview. The worldview is what drives people. Their relationship to wealth, to money, to community, to marriage, to family. It's the worldview they have.
He just made that up. That is not what culture means. For anybody that's in the chat that don't believe me and don't believe him, you can just do a simple Google search of what the word culture means. So let's pull it up right now in real time. And I am part of the Tether Task Force. We're not playing around. Let's get right to it. So we're going to go to the definition, just the regular online definition, culture, all right? The arts and other manifestation of human intellectual achievement regarded through collectivity, right? So here goes some similars: the arts, the literature, the music, the painting, the philosophy. This is part of culture. Let's get into it. The customs, art, social institutes, and achievements of a particular nation, comma, people, comma, or other social group. Here goes some similars: civilization, society, way of life, lifestyle, customs, and traditions. It has nothing to do with a way of viewing of life and an aspect of life. That's some philosophy bullshit that this guy tried to hit us with. Did y'all hear what he just tried to say? Let's run it back. But culture definition said food, clothing, music, art, artistic point of view, all these particular things. Do you understand what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's in the building, man. Drop a fire emoji in the building if y'all can hear me loud and clear. I want to make sure my audio is good. We almost hitting the 2-hour marker. I do need y'all to share the live stream. We want to get 200 people in this. We want to get 200 people in here. I can't do it by myself. I need you guys to share this on all your social media outlets. All right, let's get to it.
Hey, so what is in my head is what is in their head. And what I'm explaining is something that they must listen to when I say there is no such thing as African American culture. They're like, what do you mean? Well, culture for me is not dance, food, clothes.
See, look, that was just another diss. He's trying to do it in a sliding way. He said there's no such thing as black culture. In his way, he's using the term African American, which is applying to us, right? It's just a misnomer that immigrants use. Now, by the way, he's using the term African American to have one up on you. I'm just giving y'all the free game. Y'all drop a fire emoji. I need to know who all in the chat with me right now. Shout out to everybody that's listening in. Drop a fire emoji if y'all in the building rocking out with me, family. Where's my FBA and my Aboriginal family at? We on
Planning is something that
we standing on business.
They must listen to when I say there is no such thing as African American culture. They're like, what do you mean? Well, culture for me is not dance, food, clothing. Those are not cultures. Culture is a worldview. The worldview is what drives people. Their relationship to wealth, to money, to community.
Culture has nothing to do with a worldview. He literally made that up. He couldn't point to you for no data, reference, literature to compare or to even agree with anything that he said. He said to him, culture is a worldview. Nigga, it don't matter what you think. It's already been defined.
Clothing, those are not cultures. Culture is a worldview. The worldview is what drives people. Their relationship to wealth, to money, to community, to marriage, to family. It's the worldview they have. That's the foundation of a culture. And number two, there is no possibility for you to have a culture without having a language. So if you read most of the books written by brilliant African Americans, the first thing you see, the headline is, the traumatic thing about slavery is not merely changing your environment. The traumatic thing about slavery is not merely asking you to work long hours. The Russians had hard labor camps in Siberia.
So now they're trying to put the slave story on you, and now he's trying to tell us how slavery worked. When your people was never enslaved, fool. You was born in Benin. So now he's not only is he not listening, he's going to make up a history. He's going to make up a storyline and then attach it to your lineage. You see what he just did? Listen.
The traumatic thing about slavery is not merely asking you to work long hours. The Russians had hard labor camps in Siberia. Many countries, Japanese had it, where people work and they die. The traumatic thing about slavery is one thing only, which everyone has written about. They took our language away. They took our culture away. They took our history and religion away. That is a traumatic thing about being a slave. Now, if they took those things away, how and when were they recovered? So I met a gentleman. I was attending a conference in Singapore, and I met this gentleman who was a Korean sociologist. So we started talking during coffee, and I said, oh, I lived in Korea for 2 years when I was reporting. And he said, oh, wow. And then we started talking. I don't remember how the conversation came about when he asked me. He said, so your country was colonized? I said, yes. And my country, his country, Korea, was colonized by the Japanese for 49 years. And he said, what did you guys, meaning referring to people in Benin, what did you lose as a result of colonization? And I froze and I said, whoa, nobody has ever asked me that question. So I said, Prof, you tell me, and that will give me some idea. And he said, no, we're Koreans, we're colonized by the Japanese. So when they left, all we lost was time. We just went back being Koreans. And from that day, I could tell clearly, what did we lose as a result of colonization in Africa? What did you lose as a result of slavery? If you don't fix that which you lost, you're not going to make any way forward. So in Africa, the countries that exist today were never there. They force a group of tribes that have their own distinct cultures to become a country. So they've lost their distinct cultures, trying to have a culture as a collective, which is never going to happen. So for me, first and foremost, when I talk about culture, I'm talking about a worldview, meaning the collective have to have one reason they are here on earth. And that thing is what drives them. It's what makes them wage wars, conquer people, anything. You ask anybody, in 1884, it was the Irish journalist who finally found a word to describe the English man, which he called the manifest destiny. That exceptionalism of the Englishmen, now you call them Americans. The American exceptionalism is the American culture, that they believe that God put them on this earth to colonize and civilize others. And that's what drives them to go out there and try to give freedom and fight for freedom and do all the things they do. Now, good or bad, I'm not giving any value. You ask the Japanese, he will tell you their worldview. So their dance and food, and no, those are not.
So, like I said, he's talking about language and slavery and all this shit. But I want y'all to hear this part right here, because this is the crucial part right here. I want y'all to listen to this. Hit that like button too. Hit that like button too, man. Show the live stream, man. We're about to get out of here, and we ain't gonna be here for a long time. We're here for a good time. All right. We ain't gonna be here for a long time. We're gonna be here for a good time. Let's get to it. I don't know what the hell is going on.
Nephew of cops. That's why I say, yes, we have a culture, but of course we don't have a language. But let's not be disingenuous and act like it doesn't matter, because it does. Because as foundational Black American goes, so goes everybody else in society.
So, Frank, let me ask you a question. If slavery erased our Black Americans' culture, what do you call what we built after slavery? What do you call that?
Well, you have to give me an example of what you mean by what we build. What are you referring to?
You tired?
Look, he always acts. He for him to be so smart and to win all these awards. The brothers asked him a bunch of questions. Every time they asked him a question, he said, what do you mean? I don't understand. How you so goddamn smart winning awards, but you don't understand when a nigga asks you a goddamn question?
Built after
that's that line.
slavery. What do you call that?
Well, you have to give me an example of what you mean by what we build. What are you referring to?
You tied culture back to African and something that you inherit, but you said that got erased during slavery, but we built something clearly Black Americans have built throughout.
These brothers are up under the understanding, from what I'm hearing, that they were slaves. You know what I'm saying? We were POW, but we didn't get brought from over here, from Africa. For the majority of our people, for the majority of FBAs or Aboriginal, we from here. We didn't come from nowhere. We was already here. We got caught up in the system, reclassified, all that good shit here, but we didn't come from no goddamn where. You see what I'm saying?
Slavery and the culture that we have currently.
What I'm asking is, give me an example so I'll be able to respond to that particular thing.
Well, like things like gospel is something that we built after slavery.
Songs and music,
the foods that we eat, that we consume.
Sure, songs and music is in every society.
Is that not a part of culture?
No. Let me come to that. And first, let me make a little.
He's lying. This damn lying Benin bastard is lying.
Response to David's assertion that we were not allowed. So in Benin or Ghana or Nigeria, you pick any of the 54 countries in Africa, right? If you had gone into a Yoruba tribe, which is now part of Nigeria, they don't speak Yoruba. Now, when we were put together forcefully as countries, today, my nieces and nephews can't even speak my language properly. And the French and the English, they can't even speak it properly. Because in one classroom, you have 36 kids who come from different tribes in that classroom. So they can only use English or French or Spanish or Portuguese to teach this myriad of tribes now who don't speak their language anymore. African Americans were not prevented from speaking their language. When the ship arrived, it was one from this tribe, that tribe, that tribe, that tribe. So automatically you can speak to each other. And when you don't speak your language for a while, like I've been outside Africa now, going 40 years, If I meet any of my uncles and I start to try to speak my language, I'm interfered by English constantly, and I can't finish it.
Nigga, it's because you be fleeing to everybody else's country trying to learn their language. America ain't the only language that's throwing you off from remembering your language. You over there in Korea, you learning that. You going to Australia, you going to China, you learning 4 or 5 different languages besides your indigenous language. Of course, you ain't gonna be able to remember it when you ain't been home since you left that mother. You fled, of course.
I can't make a coherent sentence in my own language because at school, you could not use that language because you are now a bucket of different languages. The same thing happened here. You were brought as a shipload of different languages. Do
you hear this hogwash bull crap? I cannot listen to this. I've told y'all, trigger.
Because we are now a bucket of different languages. The same thing happened here. You were brought as a load of different languages. That is why Creole and Patois were created. So you use the only word you can understand, a bit of the colonizer or whoever is controlling you, and try to speak to someone who comes from Senegal. You don't know what he speaks. So over time, it becomes this hodgepodge of a language called Creole or Patois. In Sierra Leone, they have it. In Liberia, they have it. In Nigeria, they have the pidgin English because they can't speak to each other. So nobody prevents you. All you need is not to use your language because there is no one there to speak to, and the next generation, it's gone. The Jews, however, it was Jews. They took them as Jews. Even though they went from country to country to country, they were lucky enough to keep talking to each other because they can understand each other. So they were able to retain the language. This is my starting point. It happened to us on the continent. So don't be fooled. You hear countries like Nigeria, Ghana.
Man, do y'all hear this motherfucking nigga babble? Do you hear this nigga babble? Now listen to him. Listen to this. I need y'all to listen to this part.
Fear them. Because if black people hate and fear the white man the way they hate and fear each other, you would all have left this country at the end of slavery.
Left this country and go where?
Go where?
Yeah.
Where did the Jews go to? You know how many lands in our...
Do you hear this nigga? His only advice to us is fleeing. You're not in Africa. So using your logic, oh, you black Americans, you would have left America and left this mug if you really didn't like the white man. Well, you left Africa. That means you don't even like Africans, my nigga. You fled Africa. That means you don't even like Africans, my nigga. And guess where you fled to? The same place that you telling us to flee from. Why you coming here? But you telling us to flee because y'all want our spots. This guy is a complete idiot. How did he even win a damn award? This guy has to be a paid agent.
They hate and fear each other. You would all have left this country at the end of slavery.
Left this country and go where?
Go where?
Yeah.
Where did the Jews go to? You know how many lands in Africa was offered to African Americans through the Black Star Line project? It was funded by a British through Marcus Garvey and Kwame Nkrumah, the Black Star Line. Did you go? No. How did you get the Amerigo-Liberia culture?
Nigga, nobody couldn't go to no Africa on no Black Star Line. Nigga, Marcus Garvey took to jail for even trying to sell shares into the Black Star Line because he had filed bankruptcy on it. The damn ship wasn't no good. It was bullshit. It was raggedy, had holes in it, couldn't even navigate. That's why he went to jail and got banned out of America. This nigga brought Marcus Garvey up and told us we should have caught a ride on Marcus Garvey's ship. Are you freaking kidding me? This guy is a complete dumpster. He told us that we could have caught a ride with Marcus Garvey, family. Do y'all hear that? He got to go to jail, family. He got to go. This is unacceptable.
move back. 3,400 people only agreed to go to Liberia. What do you mean where to? Plenty of land everywhere. Where did you come back from? How about the Caribbean?
See, that in and of itself.
But I'm not saying it.
No.
I said,
Hold on, Frank.
I'm not.
Let me get the day real quick. Yeah.
No. See, the thing of it is, and you gotta understand, right? Like my favorite verse in the Bible is Proverbs 4:7. It says, "In all thy things."
These guys must be some fraternity guys, college guys. They too soft. The African in this bitch lying and he turning up on their ass. Like y'all making FBAs look bad, bro. You letting y'all look soft. This African sitting here turning up on y'all ass, bro, on everything. What are y'all doing? Seriously, like y'all out here looking, y'all buck dancing a little bit with this African because y'all feel like y'all a lost African. You feel like you an enslaved African that been in America. So by this victimhood, fake reality, you feel like you're under this nigga because he's a real African. See, that's y'all got to get out of that weak ass African mind state, nigga. We not African.
Get an understanding. You got to understand Frank's perspective. In his mind, it's like, well, shoot, why didn't you go? To me, that's no different than when Kanye sat in front of Harvey Levin and the light skinned boy, never call his name, and said, you know, well, shoot, for 400 years, that's slavery. It sounds like a choice. Like, no, it's not. It's not just that, right? It's bigger than that, because what no one talks about is the psyop that was done to us from 1619 through 1865, and then after 1865 all the way through, right? So if you have been told over and over and over and over and over again that you're less than, that you ain't nothing, that you don't even get the right to call yourself a name, there are certain things that get lost in translation because he does not carry that particular experience. He's got his own experiences, and one of the things that I love, and I encourage absolutely everybody to go to this man's YouTube channel, because when he talks about black on black crime, he does not start and stop the conversation at foundational black Americans. He talks about what's happened in Nigeria. He talks about what's happening in Liberia. He talks about what's happening in Ghana. And that is something that's happened throughout the diaspora. And the one thing we all have in common is that we were colonized and psyoped, but none more brutally than us. So if you think, for example, there have been writings from Frederick Douglass, there were writings from Harriet Tubman, there have been plenty of people who have talked about how many people did not want to leave the plantation because it was all they knew, and they were scared almost to a point where they had Stockholm syndrome. The idea of going back to a place they'd never been or had any historical reference to, because they'd been beaten, threatened, hung, stabbed, lynched out of them. Yeah. No, I ain't going back there. Why would I? Now, me personally, I know people who have repatriated, right? And I know plenty of people who love it. I know plenty of people who get called all types of vacatas and every daggone thing else over there. I also understand that there's a caste system over there. There are people, there have been times when I have been called over there mixed because of the texture of my hair or the fairness of my skin or the narrowness of my nose. Because whether we like to admit it or not, when it comes to a foundational black American line, you can always find, if you go up farther enough, somebody who played master got loose in the slave quarters, right? Or as they like to say, Black Buck got loose in the big house, but it wasn't us getting loose in the big house. You understand what I'm saying? So there's all these things. And to the John Lennon point, that's ironic, and I will tell you why. John Lennon was a part of the Beatles. The Beatles invasion came about because the Beatles were the very first Backstreet Boys. The Beatles were doing what Ike Turner was doing, what Jimi Hendrix was doing, what Little Richard was doing, what all these foundations.
Man, he gotta be turning up on these niggas, man. Hold on, let's get to this turn right here. I want to go to this right quick.
However, me saying that I have to take care of my two daughters does not mean that I don't care about every other black woman on the face of the planet. They are my immediate responsibility as a foundational black American. Sure. My immediate responsibility is to foundational black Americans first, not saying foundational black Americans first and F everybody else. I'm saying foundational black Americans first because we're the ones that are bleeding, and everybody has benefited from our blood, whether they choose to admit it or not. The 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment do not happen with us. Civil rights does not happen with us. These very loose, very fun immigration laws that folks are now playing and screwing all of us throughout the diaspora who are here in the Americas does not happen without foundational black Americans. And so all of those things are extremely important to that conversation.
So what would be your definition? My fault is. What would be your definition of culture? Frank gave his definition of culture. What is your definition of culture?
My definition of culture is traditions, it's style, it's certain taboos, you know, and taboos don't have to be a big, huge thing. Bring raisins in a potato salad to a family reunion. Watch what happens to you, right? Or if we're gonna talk about taboos that still happen but are still considered taboo, bring home a white girl, see what happens.
Man, they talking about everybody was just raped and shit because he got mixed hair. Man, hold on. Let's go to some other parts right here, dog. This is the part I want y'all to listen to right here.
From London.
Spirituality was robbed from us, language was robbed from us. And yes, even with that, with the example Frank gave, and I'll lay my plane on
all this spirituality and language was robbed. No, the fuck it wasn't. We still had spirituality, we still had language. Hell, ebonics, slang, Tetanese, all these particular things was Negro dialects that was here.
And then you go to school, they got to teach a certain way. Even when you go, I got a cousin that lives in Osaka, Japan, and she teaches English as a second language to Japanese businessmen because they want to come over here. You understand what I'm saying to you? But you have to have a baseline language. But the difference is you're choosing to go to school versus being forced, whipped, you know, chained, bred like cattle, and had anything cultural taken from you. Even the ability to name your child wasn't up to you. My last name didn't come from the continent. My last name comes from the Indian slave owners of South Carolina. I know exactly what plantation my ancestors come from. Can't tell you the boat though.
Oh my Lord. See, this old slave ass shit is ridiculous.
Mass comm journalism. And if you do advanced mass comm journalism, of course, you're going to do multicultural.
And every time they use that, the African is going to dog walk them in the conversation.
For understanding. And in the study of multicultural differences in understanding, of course, you study how languages were developed, what it meant for people, and so on and so forth. And it's the first thing that allows you to understand how to interact when you move from one place to go to another place. So through that, and then of course, my column for 13 years was life and culture. I didn't report on politics, economics, or wars. I reported on life and culture. It allowed me to study, and I realized, how would I know? I began to compare it, okay, to where I'm coming from. And I said, something went wrong. I would give me just a little bit to explain something. You know where my interest as a Black man became piqued after traveling the world? When I began to hear the slogans we create, the narratives we create, okay? I was speaking in Kenya on a university campus. One young man got up and told me how I missed the point about why Kenya is the way it is, and blame the white man who came to take their culture and stop them from speaking their local languages and gave us Christianity. Oh, he went down the laundry list of things that happened to them, and it's still happening. So I said, wow, you are a brilliant man. I've never met anyone who have made this list, but I have only one question. Why did it work? And that is what we refuse to ask ourselves. So we always say that they did this to us. They did this to us. But we never ask ourselves, why did it work? See, I've been to the Caribbean. I've been to many cities in the United States. I've lived in the UK. I've seen Blacks in the UK. I've seen Black in China. I've seen Black.
Right. Now, I want to skip it up to some other parts of this conversation. Hold on. Let's go to this.
Stop it. How can one race on earth have the same experience and it's not going away?
I agree with you, right? To a certain degree,
So to your question, we build it so we won't live it. You're lying to yourself. What did you build in America? Name one you built. You were in a sick.
Do you hear what he said? Let's run it back just a little bit. I'm going to run it back just a little bit, okay? Listen to this.
We make too big a deal about industrialization, as if industrialization is for people who are smart. No, industrialization is for people who were threatened by nature. And the continent of Africa, which is the home place of Black people, is the most comfortable place that has never had any threat. Tsunamis, earthquakes, tectonic plate shakes, winters 10 feet high, springs for no, you wake up every day, the trees are green, the tomato is 365 days, it's right behind your house, the river is there, and you just lie out there, eat something, and just chill. So your brain for millions of years is not inventive because
there's no need.
There's no need. So we build little communities. Africans are communal. The black man by nature is not an individualistic actor.
No.
The black man relies. That's why you can't finish a sentence with a black man without him saying, oh, my niece, my cousin. You can talk to a Japanese, a Korean, and a white man for 3 hours, and he's my wife and children. That's all you're going to hear because they come from that kind of thing. All right? So where we come from, where we evolved, gave us something. And that something is what we are. So what the white person did in South Africa is not because he's smart, it's because just over years, millions of years, they've been in threat from nature. So always their brain is inventive. Oh, how can we protect ourselves? We didn't need a reason to let.
Well, what the hell did they invent? This nigga think white people got the greatest mind on inventing shit. They didn't invent shit. They just patent shit. They known for taking people's inventions and patenting it. Is this dude a dummy or what?
The water be in some, because it's not going to freeze. And we have to come back to that. But we keep preaching that somebody, this wiggly white small race, have held down black men, Shaquille O'Neal size of people. And then our children are hearing it. And you forget to see why our children hate each other because you say we are nothing. So it's easy for the black man to kill the other person. And I'm just saying we need to stop this. Stop it. How can one race on earth have the same experience and it's not going away?
I agree with you, right? To a certain degree,
So to your question, we build it so we won't live it. You're lying to yourself. What did you build in America? Name one thing you built. You were in the 6 states in the South, farms because of your ability. They took them to Jamaica because of plantation. They took them to Haiti because of plantation. So when they brought you here, it's because farms. And you keep saying we build. You're making the kids angry. If the man didn't have a home, how could he bring you?
This nigga getting mad because we said we build shit. Do you hear this shit? He mad because we said we build shit.
Them to Haiti because of plantation. So when they brought you here, it's because farms. And you keep saying we build. You're making the kids angry. If the man didn't have a home, how could he bring you as a slave? He built the country. He wanted you here to maintain some things, man. So what? You build. So what? You will give your dignity, your children's dignity because we built the country. Therefore, we are going to stay in the country where we will be looked down upon. We will be indignified because we build it. Instead of you going and build. You know what the Jews build in other people's country, but they left it easily to go to a desert. And look at it today. Touch one of them, and God bless you.
A desert that was started and state sanctioned in 1946, the year my mother was born. A desert that also came with infrastructure, a desert that also came with banking systems, a desert that also came with absolutely no laws preventing them to build freely.
But
that
I'm
is no.
saying
Hold on,
Frank.
I sat here very quietly.
Okay,
listening.
sorry.
I got 2 ears and 1 mouth, so I was listening twice as much as I normally talk. Jews were allowed institutions, hospitals, banks, all of those things over time. And when they left what was happening because of Hitler, they also came with their health intact. And they were allowed to commune together and build those things without infrastructure. You know what happened right after emancipation? The federal government created something called the Freedmen's Bank. You familiar with the Freedmen's Bank?
I've heard of it. I'm not familiar.
So the Freedmen's Bank was marketed to Black people, foundational Black Americans, recently freed men. That's why it's called the Freedmen's Bank, as a place for them to take the money they had acquired over time, either from sharecropping, what they had earned from buying their freedom or whatever the case may be. And they all put their money into the Freedmen's Bank. And you know what happened? The government and the robber barons and the people running the Freedmen's Bank took all of their money. Do you know how many Black owned and operated banks there are currently in these United States?
No.
22. Most of those are completely under.
Yeah, these niggas could have did a quick Google search on Black inventions. Hell, you supposed to know a couple of them right off the top of your head. The refrigerator, the stoplight, the ventilation system, the doorknob. peanut butter, a pocket knife, a spatula, a washing board, bunk beds.
Funded and don't have a network that does not get the same support from the FDIC as a Wells Fargo, Chase Manhattan, all of those things. These things are unique. There is, in fact, and you know this because you have lived.
You get everything pretty much.
Support from the FDIC as a Wells Fargo, Chase Manhattan, all of those things. These things are unique. There is, in fact, and you know this because you have lived. I've lived in 34 cities in 19 states. I've been around. I understand how certain things go. But can you right now, with your wealth and the people that you know, how much land in Chinatown anywhere in the United States can you buy right now?
Which Chinatown? The one here?
Any Chinatown. How much can you buy right now?
Well, I don't know.
Zero. They won't allow it. How much can you buy in the Diamond District in any place? Let's just start in New York. How much can you buy? How much can you buy?
Know those
Zero.
Yeah.
Because they're allowed to gatekeep that. There is no situation that you can name in America in modern times, taking slavery and everything off the table, just starting from 1865 on, that does not have white involvement and white interference. If you can name it, I will apologize, but it does not exist. And that's what makes us unique versus the Jews who are allowed to take their money. Oh, and by the way, the United States of America, also Germany, all of those countries that were involved in World War II paid and repaired the Jews. Japanese Americans who were put in internment camps because America allegedly was afraid of another Pearl Harbor, but we all know historically that was some BS because they knew Pearl Harbor was going to happen before it happened and they allowed it to happen.
Man, this is just a bunch of college babble bullshit. Hold on, let me go to this part. Let me go to this part right here. Right here. Let's play
their way to make demands and sanctions on the very people that they say are disrespecting them or anti them.
Hey man, for those that still in the building, we about to get into the hot part and the good part. I just need y'all to bear with me. Y'all hit that like button, share this live stream. If you can give me a quick share, that'd be appreciative. That'll be appreciative. That'll be appreciative. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. Matter of fact, we're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna go get me something to drink. Use the bathroom. We'll be right back in 2 minutes after this break. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. It's your brother Aboriginal Power. Thumb up the video, support the channel. Shout out to the Aborigines and the FBA. Let's go.
What's your tribe? What's your set? What's your gang? What's your tribe? What's your set? What's your gang?
Hey V, line
Say,
them up.
what's your tribe, little nigga? What's your tribe, little nigga? Pressure apply, little nigga. When we slide, little nigga. If you a $5 nigga, don't get tried, little nigga. What's your tribe, little nigga? What's your tribe, little nigga? Pressure apply, little nigga. When we slide, little nigga. If you a $5 nigga, don't get tried, little nigga. It's a sleeve down movement, we ain't jabbing shit. But if niggas want box, then we jabbing shit. Uncivilized, we be on some savage shit. And if you disrespect this shit, it could get tragic quick. Boy, we smoking on that wop, that's that Walter Platt. Edgar Hoover in the wood and we ain't coughing yet. If you a NA nigga, then you not a threat. If you a AA nigga, you get my respect. Aboriginal, all our ops pitiful. Colonize your mind, then they act like they got rid of you. Truth come to the light, they'll fuck around and finish you. Copper color Indian, the proof is individual. I said the proof is individual. SOE. Shit is getting critical. Better mask up, nigga, or be been a fool. And it's still trap gang, you know that been a crew. A alpha male don't just provide, little nigga. He create governments and get supply, little nigga. All that marching ain't gon' work. You ain't tired, little nigga. Quick the G, check that nigga like, what's your tribe, little nigga? What's your tribe, little nigga? What's your tribe?
Shout out to everybody in the building. Let's get right back to it. Drop a fire emoji in the building if you in here with me. Drop a fire emoji if you in here with me. Also, support the channel, family. You ain't obligated. You ain't got to. But, hey, it shows your appreciation. Shout out to my brother, Voodoo Child, for supporting the channel. You already know. Shout out to my big brother Voodoo Child in the building. We appreciate the love and support, brother.
By forcing them to do certain things.
Yeah.
Therein lies the difference. And so I want to answer the real question you asked, and I'm paraphrasing, so forgive me, but it's like, well, what is the problem when it comes to this? If we can do all of this, then what is the issue? Are you familiar with Eli Whitney?
Give me a look.
Okay. Eli Whitney was a landmass slave owner who said he invented something called the cotton gin. The cotton gin was a machine that cleaned and picked cotton and basically expanded slavery and cotton manufacturing by about 400 to 4,000%, depending on which estimation you have. The thing about that is Eli Whitney was an educated white man. The term cotton gin is pidgin English for cotton engine. Black slaves created it, but a white man monetized it. You can't name one foundational Black American invention that has not been co-opted, cashed in, or monetized by white hands. And that is the unique disparity that nobody wants to talk about. It's not about a white man holding me down, because ain't no white man holding me down. Ain't no white man holding me back.
Yeah.
My daughter's sitting right there. She will tell you every dime of her tuition I paid out of state at Howard University, $186,383.63 out of pocket. Yeah. So it's not a matter of what we can't do. It's a matter of what happens when we do certain things, and it becomes harder. And historically, we're unique amongst that, even to this day, right? We talk about what Clive Davis did with Whitney Houston, but Whitney Houston was a kid from the projects who smoked.
Now listen to this.
$148,000 to the University of Bridgeport to study. All right. And I have remained in this country. I raised my hand and I swore oath to the white government to say, I want to be a naturalized citizen. And he accepted me. I've worked my butt off, incorporate my own non-profit and now my destiny. So I don't know what you mean by benefit. No, I worked myself just like I work in many countries, places where there were no Black people.
How the fuck did you even was allowed, excuse my language, I apologize to my elders and the youth that may be up still listening. But how in the hell do you think you even got a right to come over here when at one point in time your country was denied access, would it not been a non-compatible third world country with the United States? It's because people like us advocated, stomped down, and fought for the expansion of immigration rights and laws.
But I succeeded. I lived in Japan for 4 years. I've lived in China, Malaysia, Indonesia, everywhere. So it's no different from my hard work and my attitude to be in this country. So I don't want anybody to tell me that I came here to benefit from anybody. So if somebody called me a feather, I'll say he must have a good reason to call me that. That shouldn't make an enemy at all for me and another person.
Well, I mean, it's still a benefit to come to the country because you wouldn't have came here if it wasn't a benefit, right?
What benefit?
Well, why did you come here?
The benefit of being able to have a successful life. If the beast that you claim the white man is such a beast, if you was coming to his domain, you wouldn't have a good life. The reason you come here is because of the things that we get in place. Like if you was to get discriminated against, you're going to file civil rights. That's something that we put into place. The reason you even have a voice in the conscious field is because we created a sector of conscious community and conversations. What is this fool talking about?
I came here to go to school and I stayed. That's like any place else. My freedom to choose any place, including the desert, if I want to.
But you came here because there was more opportunity there.
I came here to go to school. I stayed. I told you I could go home and live big, but I don't want to deal with
that. You can go home and live big. I can't even listen to this shit no more. I'm gonna have to do a separate build on this tomorrow. I cannot deal with this bullshit no more. He's admitting to being a damn tether. He's admitting to being a damn tether, family. He ain't put no respect on our people's names the entire time. They get so mad when they in the lie. That's a fact. They get angry when they in the lie. They get really, 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 really angry. It's like, why y'all get so angry for it? You feel what I'm saying? But man, we about to get ready to get up out of here, man. We've been cooking all day. We've been rocking out. Shout out to everybody that is in the building. We rocking the house out. And we about to get to some more heat, man. We about to get to some more heat. So I want everybody to support the channel. I do need y'all to hit that like button, though. Hey, make sure y'all support that channel before we roll up out of here. Make sure y'all support that channel before we get ready to roll up out of here. Shout out to everybody that is in the building. Y'all already know the mission. Delineation is key. Appreciate y'all for coming through. And y'all know the thing, man. Y'all know the vibes. Tribe up, wise up, rise up. We delineating. Shout out to everybody in the building. This is your host who do the most. Your brother Power. And we out. Tribe up. Delineation.
Tribe up. Tribe up. Tribe up. Tribe up.
Keys on the track, on the track, on the track, on the track, on the track.
For the stats, I be beating the odds. In the blood, it be making me calm. Ride the turbines just like I'm Saddam. I'ma blow up just like I'm a bomb. I'ma leave it.